Strongest Style Ichiban. Welcome to Strongest Style, a pro wrestling podcast. I am your host, the living legend and the undisputed Strongest Style World Heavyweight Champion, Logan Hurston. And I'm, of course, joined by my co-host, the Gimmick Killer, Cooper Prater.
Call me a Zen Nihon freak the way I'm watching the Odyssey.
And also featuring our other lovely co-host. He is a giant, the man with the greatest combination of last names in wrestling history, and the second to last Soviet monster, Jack Rhodes Dudley.
Yeah, what's the story? I got a bit this week, but I'm happy to be here. It's been a great week of wrestling and a busy week for the Rhodes Dudley family. So,
brother said, Logan watched the G1. I am tapping out. You will not hear me talk this podcast. Somebody else is taking.
Nah, man, I'm here, and I'm ready to be here. I've been thrown around a little bit lately.
I'm pretty sure I watched all the G1 matches before you did this week.
You did because I was in Michigan this weekend visiting my grandfather-in-law now, John Anderson, who is a very old man celebrating his 97th-year-old birthday.
Whoa.
So
Happy birthday!
I was down. Yeah, no, he honestly is sharp as a fucking nail. He is amazing for his age. So I went there, and it's, got a lot of shit going on right now. They got the wildfires and they're the center of the diarrhea outbreak too.
Whoa.
So my God. There's a lot going on in Michigan.
Hope he didn't eat any lettuce on his birthday.
No, I really hope not. But yeah, it was nice. The only thing is that the last night I was there, I was not able to get to the G1 in the morning because I slept in, and then I was planning all day to watch it on the plane. And then I got to the airport and I was like, so what flight do we have booked, love, to my wife? And she hits me with Frontier Airlines, which is fine. But also I realized, oh God, I don't have the Wi-Fi to watch this show on the plane. I can't even pay for it. They don't offer it at all. So I looked at, in the airport in the 15 minutes, I just sort of looked at, the match length of everything to see what I could get in. And I realized that damn Logan Hurston was using my account to get through all of it before I could. And I couldn't believe it. I was so upset. I wasn't able to watch it until 6 o'clock that evening, which is just unacceptable for me.
Well, you missed Jake Lee doing blackface, so
I know. I can't wait to talk about that.
Oh my fucking God! Look at your boy, Jack. Look at your boy.
I did. I looked at it and I laughed.
Blackface is not a deal breaker for Jack Dudley, it turns out.
We do not condone the behavior of Jack Rhodes Dudley. We want to stay as a uniform podcast.
It's like that one guy said.
It's really avant-garde blackface, Logan. You wouldn't understand.
It was really artistically done blackface.
We'll get into that later.
We'll get into it. Maybe by then I'll have changed my tune on it. We'll have to wait and see. Cooper and Logan are really hoping.
Mr. Cooper Prater, you have gathered some news for us.
I sure did. What's that? All of the notes here are just Jake Lee did blackface. I suppose we will wait for that one. I did snoop out all of the juiciest wrestling news of the week. A lot of this is just some bullshit, quite frankly. It's not a particularly thrilling news week, but we are going to start off with a little bit of legal proceedings that you don't get too often necessarily in this business for the most part, because most people are too carny and don't actually take their disputes to court. They just take it out via extra legal methods usually. But so All Elite Wrestling is currently in a lawsuit filing against the production company behind the film Queen of the Ring. For those who will recall back to those halcyon days of 2025, there was a movie about Mildred Burke called Queen of the Ring that it did come out. I did not watch it. The reviews seemed to be middling for it from what I could tell, but it featured a pretty large cast of both AEW and I think some WWE contracted female wrestlers to portray female wrestlers of old, not just Mildred Burke, who was not played by a wrestler. She was played by an actress. But Judy Grable, I think, was played by somebody. Tony Storm was in it. I know Camille was in it. All that kind of stuff. And very, heavily involved in the production side of things were, these actual people involved in wrestling. And AEW in particular got quite involved with it because they were promoting the hell out of it for like this weird stretch from, I want to say, like March to April. They brought on some of the actresses for their Revolution show that year, and they proceeded to say that wrestling's fake in front of everybody, which was kind of weird, but it's fine because it is fake, so I didn't really care. I was like, yeah, I know. But apparently all of that work, though, that they had been putting into promoting this film has gone unpaid, apparently.
Oh my
and
God.
They are apparently seeking restitution for, I believe, what does it say here? I've got the little Yahoo Sports article written up on it right now, but apparently the sponsorship agreement they claim was worth around $350,000. $250,000 apparently have been paid already. So they are seeking an additional $100,000 from Ring Productions, was the company behind this movie. And that covers stuff like, the talent appearances, the travel cost for those talent appearances, just like the general kind of business behind film promotion, generally speaking. It's part of that film's marketing budget, or it should have been, to have those ties to the AEW shows in that way. Slightly unrelated to it, maybe, or maybe somewhat related to it. I don't really know how heavily involved he was in the post-production or marketing side of things for the movie. But I do know that the film's director, this guy, I think his name is Ash Avildsen. It seems like just a real piece of work. He seems like kind of a not super, reputable guy. He has, just like kind of, I don't know. He seems to have an awfully high opinion of himself for a guy whose previous directorial efforts were the film American Satan.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Andy Biersack of Black Veil Brides. And this little wrestling movie that he made. So And has said some other weird stuff about, I don't know, like trans women in, wrestling and sports, I guess, and all that sort of stuff. So whatever. He seems weird. I don't know if he's involved in any of the legal proceedings that AEW is filing. I think he is somewhat involved, at least in the Ring Productions company, although I don't exactly know to what extent, so I'm not going to say something that I don't know about. But yeah, it's AEW is going to be fine from this. They're not. I've seen some people be like, whatever. Oh, they're desperate for money. They're just suing They're suing this movie company. But no, they are owed this money. Actually, like this is just like what you do when somebody like doesn't pay you for services that you have rendered. If Ring Productions couldn't afford those deals to pay AEW, then they shouldn't have made them. And but we'll see, I guess, how it plays out in courts, because all this stuff is very new, and they still have to go through the whole process of discovery and investigation and whatever. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, for sure. This is funny because I was looking at the Queen of the Ring cast for some reason. Who, if you don't know, this is a movie that stars Felicity from Arrow. Emily.
That's right. I forgot that she
Rickards,
was Felicity from Arrow.
Yeah, this Mildred Burke. And for all the superhero heads and out there, also Deborah Ann Wool plays another female wrestler in this movie.
Deborah Ann Wool's in that movie?
The thing is, I actually was going to watch it before he was like, trans women aren't. We don't have real women in our movie. I was like, all right, screw you.
Right. Yeah. He went on this little freak rant.
Yeah. Walton Goggins also in this movie. And
I heard that. Yes.
And Jim Corney is as an NWA promoter. The funniest thing is
Didn't Walton Goggins play Billy Wolf?
He plays Jack Pfeiffer.
Oh, okay, Jack Pfeiffer. Yeah.
Now the funniest thing to me was, a lot of current day women's wrestlers are in this movie, as like from the past, Toni Storm's in it, Britt Baker, Naomi, but
Naomi, that's right.
The funniest one to me was that Mickie James is in this movie. Do you know who she played? Fabulous Moolah.
I have no possible.
That's
funny.
That's hilarious.
Oh, wow.
In side tangent, because I never realized until now that this movie was about Mildred Burke, but I almost watched a wrestling movie with Mildred Burke in it this week.
What movie?
It's called Below the Belt from 1980. I almost watched it last night because I was just looking for something to watch. Or I was like, I want to watch a movie, and I thought I might have talked about it for the podcast. It's on Tubi. It's like a comedy from 1980.
Mildred Burke would have had to have been in like her 50s?
She played herself.
That's right.
Because I was looking at the Kino Lorber website because they're doing some sale right now. I was just scrolling it, and I saw that, and I was like, women's wrestling movie. So I was like, wait a minute, let me look this up. And then it was on Tubi, and I'm like, all right, well, I know what my next watch is. Expect a review next week on the podcast of like a 46-year-old movie. Just in time for its 46th birthday. But yeah, I mean, get that money, all I gotta say,
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of people getting that money, that alimony money.
True.
one of the standout wrestling couples of the past decade, I suppose. Mia Yim and Keith Lee are calling it Splitsville.
Apparently, it has already happened, and it just wasn't made public.
Yes. Yeah. Which I don't have too much to say about it. I mean, whatever. It's their private business, and divorce happens all the time for a myriad of reasons. I don't really care. Like, whatever. Sure, they just didn't want to be together anymore.
They said they're still friends. It's none of our business, kind of thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not It's not any of our business. It's actually, and I'm not going to say a second cancelable thing because I am going to leave it at that is not any of our business.
Jack doesn't think that women should get divorced unless
Be allowed
it's
to
for
divorce
whatever
their husband.
infidelity or something.
Oh,
You
God. No. Obviously, that is none of our concern, none of our business. But the other thing about Keith Lee being soft retired is just so interesting.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was kind of the second part of
Yeah.
the wave of that particular news. Which, like, I mean, I feel like we all kind of knew
Yes.
at this point.
It
But
just makes
is-
yeah. I was just going to say, and this might even be bordering too much on prying, but as like it just makes me wonder just overall what Keith Lee's deal is. I guess I'll say what exactly is the problem, whether
Yeah.
it's mental or whether he had some awful physical issue all these years, or what, it might and very well might not be even connected to anything to do with his relationship. I was gonna say, like, I am always curious what is going on with him, because Keith Lee had, like, in the late 2010s, he was a hot prospect, about as hot a prospect as anybody, and he jumped to AEW after being initially pushed very hard in the WWE, that kind of faltered during the COVID era. I don't know, era is a stupid word, but that's what they all use. So, and then he jumped to AEW. Was paired with Swerve Strickland in a sort of big tag team role where they were both earmarked, be future main eventers, and Swerve has become that, but Keith Lee has been unable to return in a very long time, and has had, start, stop, like 2 times where he did come back and then wasn't able to stick around.
Set up a big, pay-per-view, like, rivalry match with Swerve to finally pay off that tag team breakup, and then just I think the general explanation was whether illness or
a health thing,
health concerns, and had to have that pay-per-view match canceled, and he got replaced by Dustin Rhodes of all people, and then he hasn't been seen since on AEW television. So
I don't want to.
It is odd.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I think the one thing I will say, because this is rumor, I don't think it's confirmed. I swear I may have heard this from, like, Fightful or something like that. But I know with that there was a few, with Brody Lee and Bray's deaths recently, that they said Keith Lee might have the same problem that they have, and he's been taking it very seriously and being careful about it. It was one of the things that I've heard about. I don't know if that's true or not. I just know that he had, I think, some COVID-related thing that a lot of people who of bigger stature had. So that may be one of the things about it. Or it could be just, like, again, it may be a headspace thing. I know around that time, too, he did lose a friend to COVID. Or is it COVID or cancer? But I don't know. I don't really want to speculate about it. It just makes me sad. It makes me sad to think about Keith Lee. It bums me out. It's the biggest what if in wrestling history for me. I don't care if you listen to Tom McDonald. He's wrong for that, but like, there's so many worse things you could be as a wrestler that, like, questionable or terrible music tastes, like, I can look past. So
yeah, he can be a little bit of a chud if he, keeps doing those spirit bombs. That's
what I'm saying.
Fine.
He can like his chud music as long as it doesn't spill into other things, But yeah, it just bums me out, and people are using this. The worst part about all this is Keith Lee had to make the poor Walter tweet, which has now been used to just dunk on him into infinity for all these, like, WWE chuds and stuff. And it just ticks me off.
Well, it's not like Walter's doing much better.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. He's not retired, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah, but like people are like, "Oh, look at him now. He's so wrong." He's basically become like the poster child of like, of tribalism.
Yeah.
And so like every
yeah.
time
People,
anything with Keith Lee
people
comes
being
out,
stupid about that.
people just want to dunk on him basically, and I'm like, "Stop, man. Stop it." Like he's a cool wrestler. He's a cool guy, as we know of. I want to clarify, as we know of. I waved, but I can't be seen right now. But
Jack's wife just appeared through the door.
Yeah.
No.
The
one of the
listeners
Indian fans appeared through Jack's door. That's what actually happened. I was waving at my friends in India.
One of our many, yeah.
Anyway, no. It just bums me. I hear you talk about it. I was like, I'm getting angry. I'm like, I gotta defend my guy right now. I will never forget. Me and Cooper got to share a lovely moment in Duluth, Georgia, as we hugged each other and screamed like little girls when Keith Lee's music popped up, and that was like the only time we saw him live.
He squashed Zicky Dice in 30 seconds.
Awesome.
Yeah, I am glad that I did get to see that, before all this stuff. But just a horrible, run of luck, and wrestling's a cruel business sometimes, But speaking of wrestling being a cruel business, somebody whose wrestling could be described as cruel, Julia Hart has entered into the Stardom 5-star Grand Prix, and best of luck to those Joshi fans. She's your problem now, fuckers.
A whole month.
She's never coming back, guys. That's your problem now, Jag.
I mean, I'm not going to be paying super close attention to the 5-star, but yeah,
apparently it's already started. So
it has. It started just the other day.
I know that they've won. The Triangle has won the.
They won the trios championship.
Yeah.
The Artists of Stardom championship.
Which, by the way, can I just say, booking malpractice that it took Sky Blue having to leave this company to finally win a belt. Tony, I want to have a long and fruitful discussion about Miss Blue's usage.
We had a vacant TBS title like a month ago. You couldn't give that to Sky.
Right, brother? Right?
I can't believe the TBS title is still around.
What do you
It's on Hikaru Shida right now, brother.
It's on Sheeta? I like Sheeta's deal. Yeah.
Well, you just get ready.
Anyways, we were talking about
that was. Oh, by the way, that was not a sexist thing. I think both of the two channel branded titles are bad. That's the thing. That's the joke.
That's fair.
I think they're both cringe.
Very fair.
Thank you for clarifying. I was like, what?
I did want to clarify. I've gotten too many strikes today. I didn't want that to be.
It's the branding, not the actual title itself.
Yeah, I think that they are cringe.
I mean, the TNT title lineage is not much to snuff at, but
I was going to say.
As we were saying about the Grand Prix itself.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Julia's into it. I've not watched enough Julia Hart matches over the past 2 years, honestly, to know whether or not she's really this as bad as y'all say. I don't think I've watched a single one, frankly. But I believe you. I don't doubt it. At the same time, I mean, I don't know. Part of me is like annoyed whenever this sort of thing happens because Western fans are always like, oh, this is a great thing to do to get her away and, give her some reps and maybe she'll learn something and come back better. And like, yeah, I guess that's true. But why does AEW lower mid-carder have to take up a spot in the 5-star Grand Prix to get reps in? It's like their most prestigious tournament. It's supposed to be taken very seriously. Like, I'm sorry, I've got something in my throat. I don't know. I think, like you said, Cooper, it's kind of annoying that one of the spots in this big tournament, is going to someone who can't really hold their own with the rest of the roster. Like, I would say the same thing if, AEW was sending over in like a Hook to be in the G1.
Right.
And I guess you
sure.
could say like it'd be a great learning experience for Hook to go over and work with all these top guys in a different environment and be on his own, that. But when New Japan sends their guys to do like an actual excursion, they don't send them over to be in world title programs in other countries, at least not immediately. I mean, Okan and the KOB did eventually sort of get over as big dominant acts in their respective excursions, but it's not promised, and it's not, they're not bullying any companies into doing that, is the deal. Or not bullying, but, just like, that they wouldn't do this unless it was the Grand Prix, is my thing. I think, I mean, it's fine, but I don't know. I do think it's funny. Here's my last little bit, because I'm kind of just rambling without a purpose. But I do think it's funny that they are doing the exact same heel gimmick with Stardom and New Japan right now, with Tekla and Gabe. And in both cases, it seems to be working very, very well and getting over. And I think that's funny that it is practically the exact same story.
Right.
But I like that. I dig it. And I even like this deal with Tekla just because even, if I wasn't a fan of her before, I can't admit that it's cool to have that, star power working semi-frequently in Stardom. That's completely different from
Tekla
Julia.
is a true genuine like star
Yeah.
that is being sent over, and I think her presence in Stardom, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, benefit the company through the eyes of fans who have already been watching, but I do think it just further emphasizes the kind of connectivity of this sort of new wrestling alliance thing that AEW has with New Japan and Stardom and CMLL, and as kind of a semi-united front against Federation Devils.
The Great Satan.
Yes. I will also say, like, to your point about sending the shitters over, I do agree with that, and if I was maybe a more active Stardom watcher, maybe I would be a little more upset at that. I think they're reasonable to be upset at this pattern, because they did the same thing for like Anna Jay, a couple years ago. They did the same thing for her. She had a little a Japanese excursion under the impression, I guess, of people being like, oh, well, she's gonna get really good because she spent a couple of months in Japan.
Did she get really good after that?
No,
of
course not.
Damn it. Okay.
Just going. Japan is not this like magical. The soil isn't literally magic. It doesn't just automatically make you a good wrestler when you land on the place. But
you're right. You're right about that. But I do think like it's not. It is stupid to think that they just immediately get better. I do think, and I've started to sort of come into this belief in the last year. I think that the most difficult thing for young talent that are coming up in America is that they just aren't wrestling enough anymore. I think that we've talked about that on the show.
That's genuinely true, yeah.
Yeah. So I do think like the idea of going and working constantly for a whole month is good. But also, like you said, it's stupid to treat it as like a magical, you go there and become a better wrestler. Like almost like it's like a like it's like an Orientalist thing and the hero's journey. Like they're going to speak to the wise Japanese masters and learning the art of professional wrestling.
Right. Yeah, pray under a waterfall for 2 hours, and then you'll be good.
Ultimately,
you can do a lockup, brother.
The wrestlers who do go over to Japan and do get better, it's not wrestlers who go over for a month for a cup of coffee, work a few shows and then go back. It's the wrestlers who spend
gotta adapt to the style.
At least a year there and get integrated in the system and do more than one tour. So it's like Julia's not going to get any better. It's funny, you get the worst member of the Triangle Brother, and you're probably going to have the other two there on loan for a little bit, I would say. Once Big Tekla drops the title to Willow here, you're going to have her for a couple months, I assume. So, Cooper will come a full start ahead once Sky goes over there permanently.
You're goddamn right. And really the premier destination for women's wrestling, I think. And also, I am looking right now at the 5-star participants lists, and I mean, quite frankly, I don't really think she's like taken up a spot that.
Oh well, fair enough.
Brought in
I was saying
by a better wrestler,
Fair enough. I was saying that. And then I remembered that the Grand Prix is like twice as big as the G1.
Ruaka's in this tournament, dog.
Yeah, no, you're right. It does have like 32 guys and like every single member on the roster. So, you know what? Fair enough. I will retract that one. I got a little heated. I still generally,
Hey,
whatever. I'll be the dumb one. I was wrong.
You're getting a former TBS champ, brother. That's the rub right there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll try and tune it. I might watch the Grand Prix tonight after this show. I should watch it. But there's a lot to watch.
Is the Grand Prix like the G1, or is it like the New Japan Cup?
No, it's like it's
block. Round robins,
it's block style, but it's like 2021 and 2022 G1 where they have four blocks and a huge play. Oh yeah, 4 blocks and a huge playoff stage at the end. Yeah.
Jeez.
So it's like that.
I'm glad I didn't sign up for that.
I prefer of the Stardom tournaments. I prefer and tend to lock in a little bit more for the Cinderella.
And that's their New Japan Cup equivalent, but it's more cool than the Cup because it's got like really short time limits and
it's
a unique setup. Yeah, it's a unique setup. It's cool.
Yeah, but good luck to Anna Jay. Maybe the Scapegoat will make some New Japan appearances to go support his. I guess they're still just boyfriend girlfriend, right? Or not Scapegoat.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm thinking of Anna Jay. I'm thinking of Anna Jay.
Why are you talking about Anna Jay? Yeah.
Anna Jay. Sorry, I got confused with the other person who did the excursion. It would be interesting though if they did actually send like a young AEW talent over to Stardom for a year.
But yeah, they could get Big Shotty Lee Johnson in for some of these undercard tags. The Swirl, brother.
That's true.
Jack,
Swirl.
You got to lock in for the Swirl on these G1 undercards.
Cooper, are you ready?
The Lethal Twist.
Cooper,
actually,
are you ready?
Even better, you could do trios with Jay
Are
Lethal.
you ready for the Swirl and the Demand to conglomerate into one faction?
You're goddamn right. That is also maybe contender for bottom 5 storyline of the year in AEW.
I was like skimming through Dynamite and I saw that. I was like, I could not believe my eyes. But anyway,
yeah, dude.
I think we're G1 time.
We gotta stay. Yeah, we gotta stay in Japan for a little bit.
Jack, I'm gonna let you lead the way since this is your wheelhouse as a Shinniho freak.
Right. Let's get right into it. Okay, so sorry, give me 1 second to pull up my graphs. Okay,
he has graphs.
He's prepared.
We should start here with something that happened right after we finished that show last week. An announcement that's kind of changed the face of the G1 this year. Shota Umino, who was very much, by a lot of people's accounts, mine and not completely Cooper's, but he definitely entertained the idea. Front runner to win this year was Shota Umino. I think I repeated myself. He has sustained a concussion either in the Zack match, probably in the Zack match, and then they're trying to sort of reverse work it into being from the Gabe match. Really, though, it is probably from the Zack Sabre Jr. match in Chicago. And yeah, he's going to miss the whole tournament. He's out. They're not even doing it on a case like where last year they had Gabe and they said they were going to take it on a case-by-case basis and then just ended up forfeiting out. They just said straight up he is done. Have given all the points from the forfeit to everyone else in B block, and he is ending his tournament run not as the champion, but as 0-9, 0 points for Shota Umino.
What a terrible. This might be the most Shota Umino thing to ever happen.
I know, yeah.
Him to finally win a title, right the ship. People are like, this is his year. He's finally going to break out, win the G1. Loses title to Gabe. Loses his first match in Chicago to Zack Sabre Jr., gets concussed, and misses the whole tournament.
That Shota lock for sure, man. Yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. I feel like you said, the fans are really getting behind him finally. He'd sort of put it all together. And the thing about a concussion, concussion protocol, is that I assume at least this won't be a super long absence. I wouldn't be surprised if he heals up enough to be back, on like the final, show and be in like a tag match or something. I might be wrong, but it's, with a concussion, you can just sort of take it easy for a little while and then be back at it unless it's something really bad.
Let me hop in here as someone with a history of medically retiring from concussions. And say that normal concussions last, you can get back in about a week. It's normally a week to 2 weeks. If it's a really bad one, though, it could be like a month or like a couple months if you had a really bad one. We don't know. It depends. Concussion protocol, The thing is, though, how fast the G1 is, even if he got back, he was mathematically eliminated by the time he would have got back.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, they move so fast.
It's the kind of thing of just true. I think they still see stuff in Shota, and especially the last two G1s hasn't factored into the main event of Wrestle Kingdom, so this one couldn't. And you could still, if you want Shota there in the main event, right the ship and, keep them healthy. Keep them, instead of wrestling meaningless matches that he's not going to win the G1 anymore,
Yeah. I mean, the thing that you can say now is that it kind of has created an opening. I mean, now there's no super obvious front runner. I mean, there's Yuya, but like we said, we've had our doubts about them feeling that strongly about Yuya. There's old heads like Goto and Zack, but then that just doesn't feel like the right year for them. And then I suppose you could go with a different foreign talent, like a Gabe or a Oleg or something crazy like that. But I mean, it's definitely way more up in the air now, which I find exciting. And if Shota was actually the planned winner, then that means that it's something that they must have just had to pivot to,
Yep.
Which is a whole nother. It's interesting. It leaves the rest of the field and the rest of the tournament very exciting for me, even though I think it should have been Shota's year. I think that we will know if Shota was planned to win or not if they do the thing where the challenger just does October again, and then we end up back at a Tsuji versus Umino main event at Wrestle Kingdom anyways. Because surely if that was the plan, if that was the plan, then they have a pretty easy out with the last 2 years where they did the October challenge. And I assume that this would be the year they went back from that, but I don't even know if that's true. Maybe it's just here to stay, even though I dislike it. So what else before we get into the actual tournament coverage? The Tenzan retirement match was announced for the semifinal officially. It's not much of a surprise, but it is going to be a little 5-minute exhibition with Kojima,
God damn it. These 5-minute exhibitions.
I thought it was 15.
I know. Is it 15?
I think it's 15.
No, it is I'm looking at the graphic. It's definitely one fall 5 minute.
Shit.
I know
let them go at it.
Yeah, that's sad. I wish that it was something more, but I think Tenzan is genuinely gonna just fuck. I think that's probably got more to do.
But that's why it should be longer.
You're right. You're right. I agree.
Turn back the years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bummed out about it too. That's not very long for such a storied career, but also Tenzan, like again, hasn't wrestled in like 2 years now, and this is more of just to give him an official retirement than anything. I do think that, while I think they're more interesting opponents than Kojima, it's also like it couldn't be anyone else. Their careers are pretty much been paralleled all this time. They had an amazing G1 final in the
Oh my
past.
god.
So it'll be proper and right and proper to have it there in that semifinal night. The show, from my ticket watching friends, is apparently already sold out. So that'll be fun to have such a big Ryogoku crowd. That doesn't happen all that often these days. So I'm very excited to see that. And, we'll probably talk more about Tenzan when we get closer to it. He is an underrated figure in New Japan and Japanese pro wrestling history, IMO, and excited to see one last bout for him and the celebration that he absolutely deserves.
Jack, I'm gonna tell you something right now.
What's up?
If this fucking company that you watch gives my goat Yuji Nagata a 5-minute exhibition retirement match,
Yeah.
I'm taking matters into my own hands. It's gonna be a massacre. I'm just laying that out right now. Hey, FBI, I did that shit 100%.
Nagata is got some sway still, so I have to assume that he'll get something more than that. He's the guy. I don't know if I've told you this or if we've discussed it before. He is the pipeline getting the legit guys into the company. He
100%.
got Oleg in there, and he's got this new guy.
He's like,
Obata,
I'm gonna make
in
Inokiism work again. God damn it!
Yeah, they're his dudes, and he's getting them to train with Barnett and shit in the dojo. They're his little pet projects, Wolf and Oleg and Obata now.
Well, you don't worry, Cooper, because my guy Kojima is going to retire an MLW by doing the job to LeBron Cozone on a random Fusion episode.
But that'll be
showered in the
featured
ring with
on New
Brad.
Japan Pro Wrestling World now, though. Yeah, we'll all be able to see it for free.
What if
sorry.
What if
You keep
Kojima
going.
brings Cozone to second him for the retirement match? What if he brings him around? That's not going to happen.
It won't make up for it, but it'll be nice. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's just go match by match then and explore what happened on these 2 nights of G1 action.
Now,
first off,
we're not talking about the tag matches other than the Jake Lee thing, right?
Well, I'm going to talk about the Jake Lee thing. Well, I mean, I'm going to talk about a few angles, but no, nothing really.
Okay.
I didn't watch
I
them.
did not watch the tag matches, so...
Yeah, that is fine. I didn't either, and I rarely ever do. I think that you should be proud of yourself for trying to stick with this anyways. Okay, so we started off B Block on night 2. We had a makeup for what was supposed to be on the Chicago show. It was War Dogs Collide with Gabe Kidd versus the Drilla Maloney. Logan, I want you to start off here because I'm going to be honest. I love Gabe and I'm okay with Drilla, but I wasn't really feeling this match, to be totally honest with you, man.
I don't know. I mean, they ran the blade. I thought there was some really... The thing about what I find interesting in this G1, and specifically what a lot of, this new era of New Japan is, which is, such hyper-aggression. And I felt like this match kind of, it was the worst version of the match him and Oscar had the next day. I'm kind of happy Drilla got a big win, and I liked it mainly because in Gabe's backstage comment, he's like, somebody had to beat me. He's like, but it wasn't one of these Japanese guys.
Dude, I thought he said, notice how it wasn't a Japanese wrestler. That shit was so funny. It's so funny to see somebody working a straight up foreign heel, with the works and everything. I know that New Japan often has foreign heels, but to have somebody whose gimmick is, like shitting on Japan is hilarious. As someone who's grown up, is that being this classic trope in WWE. It's just like, oh my God, it was so funny. That popped me so big when he said that.
And I liked him using Gabe's moves, and he hit that Drillo, right? I also like Gabe.
He did hit that Drillo, right?
Coming out in the full trainer outfit, and for a second I thought he was going to wrestle in it.
He's stealing a handful of Naito-isms for this new heel run. He does the whole outfit and then, taking it off like slowly while berating the crowd. And then he also has got the global title he's throwing around everywhere. So he's definitely taking inspiration from one of the GOATs. And it's working for him, I think. I like the opening match, the opening bits from both of the... First off, I love this whole character. I think it's brilliant. Yes. I think Gabe is back on, in absolute peak form here. I love the ominous, new Death Riders version of the theme song with the new lyrics. He feels like a proper... I know it sucks that we have to share him with the States because Gabe feels like the right and proper top heel, that he's been needing to be all these years. He feels like if Bullet Club was still around, this was the version of Gabe Kidd that would be that Bullet Club leader. You know what I mean, Logan?
Yeah, I mean, he's in like the best shape of his career.
He is that too.
He looks intimidating. His promos are like, they're as good as they were, if not better. Like he's
absolutely biting. Yeah.
I mean, like I love, and I hate to say it because he said, and it's funny, even his Twitter, he's like, I'm the best wrestler in the world, but I'm also a bipolar wrestler. So he's like, sometimes I don't win. You didn't get the best of me tonight, or something like that.
The Kanye West of professional
wrestling.
He is
so like, I get glued to watch him on this TV screen, and it's kind of funny.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Because like I thought he was such a good babyface in that Kenny match, but it kind of almost neutered him for like the next couple months because he's so good as like this like delusional but also kind of justified heel. He plays the character so well. He's honest to God my favorite thing in wrestling right now.
I think so too, and that's how I think so too, man. And this is like what I say all the time about my favorite thing about Gabe is he just has that and I guess it's because who knows how much of it is real and how much of it is a character at this point, like the things he's been saying on Twitter, but he has serious wild man energy in the same way that a lot of the great foreign heels in Japan did. And that's what I was about to talk about. The way that he's, slowly taking off his trainers and somebody will, yell at him and boo at him and he'll look right at somebody in the crowd and be like, fuck you, and get so angry. And I'm like, I know it's pro wrestling, but for just a second there, I'm scared. I'm like, Gabe Kidd is about to go and fucking beat up on this guy in the crowd. I believe it. It's like the classic Terry Funk quote, I can't get you to believe pro wrestling is real, but I can get you to believe that I'm real. And that's how I feel about Gabe Kidd right now, and I have in the past. Sometimes he leans a little bit too into it, goes too far, and loops all the way back around to where, like, I know you're bullshitting. But now he's taken these real gripes against him, these real, sort of genuine boos and this sort of go away heat he had there for a second for leaving for AEW and come back with it, worked it into his character in the best way. And now listen to the reactions he's getting. He is absolutely the most despised man in New Japan right now. They can't stand him. And it's providing such a great opportunity for every other guy that gets in the ring with him to just be on fire, for the crowd to fall in love with him. It just happened for that one night, we'll get to it on night 3. It felt like Oscar Loibe was the biggest fucking babyface in New Japan there because he was putting the brakes on Gabe Kidd. And that's what, that's just magic. That's pro wrestling magic when it truly, and that's why I'm so sad that we're not going to get that Shota rematch yet, but I'm sure we'll get back to it soon. It's real pro wrestling magic. That being said, one of my biggest gripes with this match, and Drilla's performance both nights, I guess I'll get into it now, is that I feel like he is being pushed right now as this big mid-card babyface. You know, they want the crowd to really love him because he was the one war dog that stayed, you know, and he's the new version of Gabe turned down a little bit, where he, you know, I love New Japan. I'm staying in New Japan. I'm giving you fans all my love. But he straight up does not work very well in ring as a babyface. No. And he can't seem to figure it out. He's not pumping the crowd up. He's not ever doing any like big fiery comebacks or anything that you'd expect. Even in the Gabe match, it was more like he can't not be the badass. But he's not I don't know, it's not what the fans want to see out of him. It's not very compelling, I guess. Logan, you speak on it a little bit more while I gather my thoughts.
The Hinare match was worse. I like this one a little bit better just because, like, with anybody with Gabe, and it's, like, ultimately what I love about pro wrestling in general is, like, there's a point of, like what you were saying, with Gabe makes everything real because he just brings the aggression out of everybody in his character right now, and I thought that was really good in this Gorilla match. I thought it was fun. I mean, it was one of the match of the year or anything like that, but I thought it was good. I do see it, though. He's got ELP syndrome.
Yeah.
That's, like, ultimately what they're trying to do with them, but it especially doesn't work for his character because he's the Drilla. Like, he's going to hit that Drilla, right? Like, the Drilla is not a babyface move at all. That's the ultimate, like, heel finisher if I've ever seen one. You know? Like he's a bad A, but, like, that's not really, like, the type of wrestler that you kind of see.
Except when Brody King does it.
Unless Brody King do it. Brody King's different, though. Brody King, it's different for American audience versus, like, versus Japanese. Like, I used to think, like, Drilla looks so rugged and, like, he looks kind of evil. Like, he looks like he's like the thug bad guy.
He is a bad guy wrestler.
Yeah, and, like, I could see him being, like, maybe a babyface, like, in America, maybe as, like, the bad A, like, babyface. But you don't really see that very often, I don't think, in Japan. Can you think of the archetypes? It's just like, this is the bad A, you know, that's his whole thing.
No, not so much. I mean, there's no, like, Batista sort of wrestlers in Japan, you know, where there are these big, strong bastards who are also universally beloved. Even, well, we're going to get to it in a second talking about Oleg, but Oleg all these years has been portrayed as
kind-hearted,
kind of a gentle giant. Yeah. And so too has many in the past. You know, if you are like that, you know, if you stray too far and just become Japanese fans, just straight up, they don't like anything that is like pushing. They generally, at least, don't root for pushing the limits of, you know, the rules. They don't like
you can only be a Masahiro Chono once.
Right. Yeah. It's just like reveling in the violence, you know. That's not anything that's gonna get you, like, cheered.
Yeah.
That's some, you know, we could do a lot of geopolitical theories about why American fans seem to love that so much. No, but like just that beating down on enemy while they're already dead. No, but legitimately.
Sorry. Well, I mean, I was just while we're on this, I guess, kind of side.
No, you should. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing to talk about. Yeah.
It is fascinating to me that you know, yes, that is true in the mainstream Japanese promotions, in, you know, New Japan, Noah, All Japan, still, for whatever that's worth, and in Joshi too, with, you know, Stardom, but you know, there is also, on the flip side of that, a much, I think, more fruitful niche of deathmatch wrestling in which it's totally flipped, and it feels like, to me, that's like, it really is like the release of, like, a pressure valve
Yeah.
To kind of get that sort of just unadulterated adrenaline rush, like, yes, hit him with fucking everything kind of feeling in. And that's where you get the appeal of somebody like a Junkasai, like Takeda, like it's a intentional Atsushi Onita, back in the FMW days. It's an intentional like flipping of the dynamic that it feels more intentionally like counterculture and like making a statement about like what kind of person you are if you're like a big like deathmatch, as opposed to like in America where I mean there was a time for stuff like that in like the early 90s and stuff and early 2000s, but since then, like I mean there still is, but there really isn't. And I mean just it's that you get that stuff in doses from the major promotions. And I think it's interesting how like you can have fucking Jon Moxley be the top champ of all time in two different promotions in America, and when they did finally give him the IWGP run, he was still mostly in America for that whole time. So I don't know. But.
No, I think that's a super interesting point to make, and I'd love to talk about that more at some point, but I feel like that going super deep into it would just get us off on a crazy tangent.
Yeah, we got so many more matches.
This is match 1 of 10 of the G1.
It's super interesting, though, genuinely. The point I was trying to make, or that I did make, is just, saying, Drill is not taking to being this new pro Japan babyface very well, even though the crowd really does want to love him. It feels like he just doesn't give them enough, and his matches feel like they're lacking in something so far. So, that being said, he did pick up the win here, and it does seem like they're going to go after the G1. We're heading towards a Drilla versus Gabe Global Championship feud, which is not that hard to predict after what happened at Dominion. That might well have happened regardless. But I mean, I will give him another chance then in his first major singles program. Maybe I'm wrong and it'll end up being really good, or we can come back to it in a little bit. But right now we should move on to the next match of night 3, which was night 2. The second match of night 2, which was that fucking Great-O-Khan versus Sonata match, which is the only match that has happened in the G1 so far that I think I'll say was actually bad. I think we have a pretty high floor so far, which I'm very happy about. This one was actually actively bad. Would you agree with that, Logan?
Yeah, Cooper, I want you to guess how this match ended.
Why would I?
Who do you think won and by how? Just guess. Great-O-Khan and Sonata.
O-Khan won by humping Sonata? I don't know.
Close. O-Khan.
No, not close.
Won,
it's not close.
O-Khan won by 20-second count out on the floor.
Fantastic. Let's go. Real graphs.
By basically hitting Sonata with the chair and doing almost like a Zack driver on the chair to Sonata, and Sonata didn't make it into 20 count, and that was how the match ended. And Sonata came.
It was the tins on Tombstone. Done shittily is what it was.
Yeah. It was funny too. Sonata did come out wearing the Banana Man outfit, which Oscar Uribe.
Well, no, that sucked because the only good thing about the match would have been if we got another new outfit, but he wasn't able to cook one up in time. I guess he wanted to show the gold for the Japanese fans.
This outfit is awesome too, and Oscar was perplexed by it, which is very funny.
Oscar was giggling about it. Oscar's very funny on commentary.
For sure.
He's not the most professional, but he was very funny.
I will say he did add a depth to that Gabe match because he had him the next day and said, like, I remember the Gabe kid. To me, he's the guy who took me out, when I was a young lion, had no money, and fed me and treated me right and all this stuff. And I don't see this guy who's in front of me now, kind of thing. But, yeah, this was the most nothing burger, whatever match of all time. Why are they doing my man Sonata like this?
I know he's the only guy. I mean, we'll get to it, but he's the only guy so far to go 0-2. Everyone else went 1-1.
Well,
and Goto went undefeated, but we'll get to that.
But that's also because of like the Shota thing. So,
no, it's not because of the Shota thing. Oh, no, it's not either way.
No, it isn't.
Everyone went 1-1. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the Shota thing.
That just means that Sonata's gonna rally back and win the whole thing.
That's what I think too. Yeah, he's getting that classic. He's getting that classic loser into fiery comeback.
Yeah. This was his Shane Haste loss the year Naito won it all.
And now they're finally running that back.
Don't remind me.
For Shane Haste and Naito.
Naito's gonna get his win back, and I'm gonna be inconsolable.
He is. He's gonna be the GHC champion in 2026.
Will you start watching Noah?
No, but I might watch some of the main event matches.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Is he? I know he's not good enough to check in on
not
realistically,
good at all.
But I do miss Naito. Yeah.
We should watch that match, so that'd be funny to review. And then one thing.
Imagine we get the Tsuji victory, and then he's like, Naito, and then we get fucking Tsuji versus Naito in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom this year.
Last tangent, we forgot to mention that the new version of the Good Brothers has debuted in Avery Styles and CJ Gallows.
I did not forget to mention that.
No, Cooper did.
The Good Sons.
The Good Sons.
That's a... Yes.
They'll win the Good Brothers moniker once
they're
they
called
beat
like
them.
Bullet Club's Legacy or something like that. They're using the Bullet Club moniker, or at least they were on Twitter. I don't know if they are allowed to IRL. But they were like teasing it, and he had like an old school Bullet Club shirt on. The Gallows Kid did.
What's funny is the Gallows Kid is in MLW, so we could get the Gallows Kid versus LeBron Cozone squash match. Obviously.
Best of 7 series. Actually.
I would actually kill for a Doc Dangley LeBron Cozone best of 7. One of the.
Well, you're getting it with the second generation, brother. I don't know what to tell you.
Is he going to beat Festus too?
You gotta make the kid look strong.
They're called the Sons of Bullet Club.
I mean, that is what they are, to be fair.
The most factually correct tag
They
team.
should be like Sons of the Bullet.
They should be called the Sons of AJ Styles and
Gallows.
They should just be called Talking Shop. All right, moving on. I just remembered that. I'm like, we have to mention this. All right.
No, yeah, this match stunk, and Okan is the laziest fucker in wrestling, and he can't even get his ass on the ground for a pinfall victory. So yeah, this is gonna suck. Up next we had Jake Lee, who was not yet in minstrel gear. Against the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita. The story of this match is a classic story in New Japan these days. Anytime someone decides to pick up a goofy ass gimmick so that they can not take it so easy, it was Takeshita saying, "Man, that's cool and all, but could you please actually wrestle me for real in this match?" And then he was.
What did Jake say in response to that?
Well, he has admittedly been doing a little bit more work in both these first two matches with Shingo and with this than I think people expected out of him. I think that he is trying.
I saw that Shingo match, brother.
You didn't think so?
I will say this:
man.
Takeshita got a
He's
solid.
taking bombs.
Takeshita got a solid like 3.25 out of him. So he got him to lock in, and I actually like this match. It was funny too. So Jake comes out in like the half paint, only like the eyes, a black,
Yes.
the Joker makeup on like the eye area and the lips, And Takeshita, at one point in the match, which I'm pretty sure is what caused him to do blackface the next day, basically he takes the towel and wipes off all the makeup, and that's where Jake Lee actually starts locking in, and they really
he tore down his facade, and he saved him from the Joker for a little bit.
Yeah.
Jake Lee's soul, and he was wrestling like normal Jake Lee.
Oscar,
and then after the match,
Oscar did correctly call it the Pennywise emote on commentary finally. So
yes, beautiful. Yeah, this match was fine.
He listens to the show.
That would be awesome if he did. Maybe Oscar, let us know in the comments, or shout us out next time you're on commentary if you're listening to Strongest Style, a pro wrestling podcast. So yeah, I mean, it was a solid match. I mean, they just hit their moves and nothing crazy happened, no crazy bumps. It just ended with the main spot was the one Logan talked about, the makeup coming off into Jake becoming a bit more of his normal good-looking guy self with little emotes, and then Takeshi was able to hit Raging Fire on the big man, which is a cool visual, and then he got his first dub. So
we forgot to. This was the most Jack Rhodes Dudley versus Cooper Prater match ever, and we also forgot. I talked to you about this on the phone. Oscar.
This was very funny.
Oscar said on commentary that. Walker asked Oscar. He said when they were training you in the dojo and they were showing you videos of other giants, did you watch any of Jake Lee? And Oscar response is, yes, I did watch Jake Lee. They showed me him and they said, this is what you do everything this guy doesn't do. Do the exact opposite.
No!
And that did pop me pretty hard. And then as I was watching this, I'm like,
fun.
This is the ideology of Jack's avant-garde mind versus Cooper's wrestling rocks mindset.
Oh my god.
But
oh fuck. I love Jake. I'm so excited.
You love everything
what
he does.
next. No, well, we'll get to it. I'm gonna keep pushing it back. Maybe the time will never come.
When we get to day 3, it's the first thing we're talking about.
Okay, so then they cut to this guy in the crowd, and he was sipping on his soda and eating the curry, and we can go through every little detail of night 2, and maybe we'll run out. No, seriously, this next match was my favorite match, I think. I know objectively this was not the best match. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say that, actually. I'm not going to pussyfoot around and be a little loser who goes with the consensus. I'm going to say it. This was the best match to happen in night 2 and night 3. IMO. The Bolton Oleg versus Yuto Ice match. And I will explain why it was fucking awesome. Logan, do you want to talk about this match first?
I'll let you talk first and then I'll give my thoughts.
Okay. Yuto pulled off the most fun thing about him we've talked about in the past. Yuto Ice is somehow able to fucking get in his guy's ear, his opponent's ear, and just say, hey, you've got to log the fuck in for hours. And he brought something out of Oleg that I have never in my life seen before. Because we were just talking about how he is often portrayed as this sort of gentle giant. And even when he gets into big strike exchanges, like in his match with Ishii, and does a little bit more of the Never style, he's still very much a stoic type of wrestler. But this guy brought all the fury of fucking all of the previous big Olympic bruisers in New Japan. And, he brought the Kazuyuki Fujita out of Oleg. He brought the Vader out of him and all these things. And I don't know, I'm bad at analogies. Sorry. I'm also stumbling over my words because I really liked this one. Oleg just went nuts. He went ham on him, and he was yelling and screaming, and I just have never seen that sort of thing out of him. And he just, the finish of the match was really cool. That was what I liked so much about it, was the finish, which was basically Yuto kicking out of short range kamikaze, and then kicking out of the verdict, the F5, for those not in the know. And then Oleg starts pulling out what can only be described, I guess, as a Wardlow classic. And then he gets Yuto, and I just never in my life would have expected it to end this way, but it was so sick. He picks Yuto up, for the power bomb and lands it, and then kicks out of that first huge power bomb. Oleg backs up, and I never in my life thought that I'd see Bolton Oleg do the fucking NXT head in hand spot after a kick out. But he stands up and he does it. He looks so shocked. At first I was like, oh my fucking God, not this. But then he does what every single wrestler should do after the head in hands and shock spot. And he picks Yuto up for the power bomb again, and then slams him the fuck down, and then picks him up again and slams him the fuck down, and keeps on doing it until the ref just calls referee stoppage on the match and calls the match. And then Yuto just lays there like he just got murdered in the ring.
He killed him.
He fucking killed him. He does not move for, I think, the entire rest of the time he's on screen. He just lays there in the
Yeah, he lays there, and they literally have to move him. Like, the young lions start moving him, and then Oscar finally is like so worried about
No, wait. You're missing something that I loved almost as much. You're missing something that I loved almost as much as the power bombs themselves. Is that Oleg does all that shit, and then he walks halfway down the ramp. Then he comes back up, and he's like, hey, good work, man, and lifts up the lifeless arm of Yuto Eyes like he's fucking... and, like, shakes it, and he's like, then he motions around, he's like, hey, give it up for Yuto, while he's just fucking dead.
Well, to be fair, he looked like he was beside himself that he did that, and, like, very upset.
He did.
And then went back.
It's definitely an... Yeah.
And it was funny, because Oscar was like, oh my God, he's going back for more.
Yeah. Oscar, this adds to it too. This is another reason why it's just like, this is my favorite thing about the G1 a lot of times is when they try something different, like stuff like this. And this was very much different, like a match that was almost purely just for the angle. And I think if there's ever a time to do that, it's during the G1, because it was definitely meant to show like, hey, Oleg is about to change a little bit throughout the course of this tournament, added edge to him. But you're right, Oscar was adding to it so much. It was a thing that he was like, come on Yuto at the end, and then was just sad that he lost. And then you can hear the fear like creep into his voice throughout watching, just him continue not to get up. He's like, oh, I think Yuto might seriously be hurt. And he's like, is Yuto dead? Is he all right? And then he does come back. He's like, oh my God, he's coming back for more. And then as soon as Oleg leaves, he's like, I'll be right back, Walker. I'm going to help him. And then he, like, lifts him onto his shoulders and walks him out of the arena while Yuto's still acting like he's just been completely demolished. And then Walker's like, I'm a little bit worried now that we might have 2 concussions in this tournament.
I didn't even hear Walker say so that. Good. I skipped to the next match.
Oh my God, dude. It was so funny. He was like, we might have to worry. And he's like, we'll be keeping up with Yuto Ice. We might have to worry about there being a second concussion in this G1. Cooper, if there was ever a U-Core match, I think it really would be this. You should go out of your way to watch.
It sounds very intriguing.
It was great.
It might get
it was
really was a good angle.
It was a match of the year. It might be my favorite of this first 3. It's tough to say.
It really was great. And then I mean, it just brought, like, I when you do hold back that much, it's similar to the Gabe thing. When you hold back that much for that long, like a guy like Bolton does, it does work better when something like this happens, because everyone in the crowd is like, holy fuck, is Bolton okay? They're worried about him, and why is he doing this? And now I think I'd like to see this continue and him just go on an absolute monstrous tear. Oh, and speaking of, yeah, Oscar coined an amazing nickname during the final beatdown, where he's like, Walker, I think we're looking at the last Soviet monster in New Japan's ring right now. I was like, hell yeah, he is. And I hope they keep that, because that really is fantastic. So yeah.
It was pretty
I can't believe that they did the referee stoppage gimmick. I would be fine with Yuto just going on a whole tournament. You know, he doesn't need to be a big singles guy. I think he is great as a dominant tag guy, and then he can go out and get his ass absolutely beat by a bunch of guys in this tournament, because he is good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so up next... Yeah,
well, it's early for him, so I don't want him to get anywhere near the semis at this point. I want to like build him up a little bit, especially because I think KOB still has a couple more years where they need to be just straight tag team before. If you, as Cooper says, first of all, Cooper says you need to drop that gimmick, Bretta. But second off, you know, like I think still stick him as a tag team for now. Let him do a year or two before you really like just let him off the chain, you know.
Sure.
But
I love Kazakhstan. Glory to Kazakhstan. He's got to win the whole thing. I'm convinced after this. He's got to win the whole fucking thing. Just full send it.
Then he's going to beat Tsuji, and then he's going to hold the belt forever.
Take it all, yeah. It's going to be like when Zangief and that guy and what was it? The guy that died this year.
Hashimikov.
Say it again.
Hashimikov,
yeah, they need to run that back, absolutely. Then we had the Oiwa versus Takagi match, which was, I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything amazing, and I think Oiwa's previous match better.
Me too.
But it was cool. I think that they overdo. Too many people are doing the big lariats right now, and I know that that's like a fundamental move in Japanese pro wrestling, but I still hold to it. I think too many people are doing the big lariats as their signature right now. I mean, Oiwa and Takagi and Shota and Newman all are using the lariat as like, this is the beginning of the finishing stretch, you know, type of thing. That's not to say, I think Oiwa, if anyone, should probably be the one that gets it, since he's made it his finisher and everything. But it does make stuff like this where it's like, I mean, I don't care that much to see y'all just throwing lariats 20 times in the match against each other. I'd get more hyped at it if it was rarer, but it's just not. And Takagi, I think I've said before, sometimes he is just seriously kind of going through the motions, and the motions are good, but I don't know. When it's like a guy like this, Oiwa, who needs to be... He feels fresh, and Takagi doesn't feel fresh. And then, I just felt like they weren't... I don't know. I don't want to be too down on it, because I liked it. But it was kind of empty. And then Shingo just won with Burning Dragon, and I was like, yeah, is that it?
I felt the same way.
Yeah.
Shingo has gone stale and stopped evolving, unlike the genius who never stops evolving.
Yeah, unlike the genius who never stops evolving.
So
the genius never stops evolving. Have you seen that, Cooper? Have you seen that?
Of course I am. Are you kidding me? It's like the best thing fucking going on Twitter.
Oh, fuck.
Genius never stops evolving. Did you hear? Wait,
he really doesn't. That's the thing.
Did you guys hear? Did you guys hear about GHC 200?
Oh my god, yeah.
The newest speed title.
The new speed title.
Incredible.
I wonder who came up with that and who will win it. The genius will never stop evolving, brother. But it's going to become a Pro Wrestling Noah podcast after the G1 ends.
Really, it is a shame that Jake Lee didn't work out in Noah, because there really has never been more of a wrestling soulmate for him than Naomi
Oh man.
Yeah, this was like, there was good work, but I just didn't care. And like when Shingo won, I'm like, all right, man. I don't know. Like, I hate to say that I've ever like sailed on Shingo, but I'm like, the ship has passed for me, you know.
Yeah, he's definitely, I don't know, there's something about him. Maybe it's because we learned all this shit about him, or maybe I don't know.
Well,
he
he's the
doesn't
same
have,
guy.
Yeah, something about I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Like, but something about Ishii, like Ishii, for example, his act just doesn't grow stale for me. Like, I love him, and I hope he comes back soon. I love him as the perennial, gatekeeper to everyone, no matter what. And I don't think I'd ever get tired of his shtick, and I am super tired of Stingo's shtick. I don't know what the difference is or why, but it's just true.
Well, I think Shingo's gotten older and less explosive a little bit, and so that kind of like rubs a little bit of luster off. And I just don't think it's 2021 anymore. And it's like he's not gonna ever be anything. Like he's never gonna be a world champion. Like he might get like like the best thing is maybe a global reign at some point, but even that, like I doubt. Like there's not really anything for him to do. He's just kind of there now. Like I'm more interested in him as Poi's husband than I am as him as a wrestler. Like I go be a vlogger like Taichi,
Yeah.
And I feel like he just doesn't, like, his character hasn't evolved at all. I hate to say that word, because the genius. But, like, it's just like, it feels like he hasn't changed at all, or the rest. Like, I think, honestly, the best thing he could do would be to go to AEW, where, like, the fans still, like, love him. I think, and I don't know, the fans love him in Japan, but, like, if he wants, like, acclaim again. Ishii, I don't know, there's something about, like, there's nobody else in wrestling that looks like that guy, and like moves like that as like an old man. Like he's like a spectacle to watch.
He is, he's pretty special, yeah.
Like he shouldn't work, but he does, is the thing about him.
Yeah.
So.
I gotcha.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. Let's move on, I guess, and just
the
go
main
ahead
event!
and talk about the. Yeah, I was about to say the main event. Speaking of unks who do still got
Wildfire.
it, we do
Wildfire.
amazing. That's right.
Okay.
This was a fan-fucking-tastic main event between Yota Tsuji and Hiroki Goto, running back their Toyo Sports Match of the Year that they had at the New Japan Cup Final 2024. That kind of kick-started the whole Goto Revolution gimmick.
Yep. I will say, I said this to both of you off air, but I have to say it on air. You guys have been talking about this Wildfire theme song. And it's funny, you actually...
Yeah, Logan finally got to it.
You actually mentioned that you were in Minnesota during the wildfires, and I almost went, Wildfire? Wait a minute.
Wildfire. Wildfire.
And I like, oh, he got a new theme. Whatever, it's probably fine. You could give me a million chances to guess what he would have walked out to, and I would have never guessed anything. Like I was like, my jaw was. I immediately called Jack. I'm like, what am I watching? What is going on? Like, what is this?
It really you do have to experience it to understand exactly the feeling of the Wildfire.
I don't know if there's like a worse fitting wrestling theme for a character, like maybe ever. And the thing is, like that, this could like fit certain people on the roster. Like I think this could fit a couple of juniors. I think Okan could ironically come out to this song because of all the sponsorships he has on his pants. But Tsuji? Like, come on, man. Like, I understand he likes AJ, and that's fine, man. But like, at a certain point, you have to know. I'm really hoping this is like, this goes away in 6 months, and like we're all like, hey, remember the time Tsuji came out to Wildfire by Meijay, and we all just like forget it from our memories. That's what I'm hoping, because if this keeps, I don't know how, like, we're gonna get into this match, and we'll get into it. I think Tsuji is, and I saw someone on Twitter, and I completely agree, which is, he is Okada-like in that he's not like he's the wall. He's the wall that a wrestler has to surmount to beat now. He's become that like gatekeeper to like, you beat him, you are the man kind of thing. And I think he's such a good adversary to almost every wrestler on the roster in the way of like, he just beats him down. He dominates them. And like, especially in this match versus Goto.
He's very confident in ring, which is cool. He does have that in a similar way to how Okada is.
And he's really good at, like, this match, I thought he was amazing at working from above with Goto working
It
from
felt
behind.
like Goto had to see. Yeah, I love that too. It felt like Goto had to work, and that's why, like, I don't mind, that Tsuji has already taken this first loss so quickly, because it felt like Goto had to just, and that's Goto, former world champ, probably the most respected vet still around, and he had to work his ass off to beat Tsuji at the top of his game in this match, and it was super compelling to watch.
Goto, who missed last year's G1 and never got his title opportunity back, who hasn't really faced Tsuji other than that, New Japan Cup match. So it's like, this is like the money match right here. I'll be interested to see it run back, I'm sure, later on in the fall, because I don't think Goto's winning this whole thing. But yeah, I thought he hit two great GTRs on Tsuji. I thought like the way he had, like his counters for everything and having to find a way and like rally, really like turn back the clock against Tsuji here to like this was a man outside of time that had to like use everything in his system. Like I wouldn't be shocked if Goto loses the next 2 or 3 matches because he's just aspirated so much in that one match kind of thing. And to my point of like this great presentation, and like, some people complain about the Where's Carmen Sandiego outfit. I think it works fine. But the theme, man, like all that, me and Jack were talking about it. He's the opposite of and the bell rings wrestler. Like you watch his presentation, you're like, who is this chud? But then the bell rings, you're like, this is the GOAT right here. But like when he walks out the Wildfire by Meiji in the outfit, it's like, come on, man.
I was thinking, and I know this might upset Cooper for me to say, or maybe not, maybe I don't know. But I remember I looked at him, he's got also kind of an odd build and the weird aura and everything, but when he does get into the ring, he's just that fucking guy. And I saw him, I was thinking of it this match, and I was like, man, that's like Hashimoto type shit there.
Shut your fucking mouth.
No, it's true.
No!
It's true, bro.
I will not have this blasphemy on my fucking podcast.
Oh, man.
Yoda Tsuji is not like Big Hosh. Nobody ever is. Nobody ever will be, aside from the other Big Hosh.
True.
You understand me? All right.
All right. That's true. Okay. Well,
he's good. I like Tsuji.
Last thing about this match, unless Jack has some thoughts, I'm sure he does.
Well, I was going to say that you can say that about his new theme song and the weird outfits and the weird vibe that he can sometimes give off outside of the ring. But the truth is just that the Gene Blast never stops evolving.
That is a fact.
And you'll have to deal with that.
The second best thing that came out of this match, other than go to Victory Cooper, I want you to look at General. Look at the picture I just posted.
Oh my!
This is a good bit.
Right.
Little Daiki
the guy and the fedora, bro.
He handed him the hat while he was getting ready for the match, and then the guy completely stone faced put it on and then kept it on.
The entire match.
He looks like a.
Yeah.
He looks like a old-timey detective.
He does. He looks like he's like in the Tintin comic, bro. Like he looks like he's just drawn. And dude, I was just like fast forwarding after I listened to enough Wildfire as Meiji as a man could stand before I was like, all right, I'm gonna get to like the start of this match. And like as I stopped on that frame and I was like, wait a minute. I stopped what I was doing. I walked up to the TV and took that picture. But yeah, I really like this. I might have liked this better than the Yudo Oleg. It's really hard. I'm a big Goto fan.
That's fair.
I really love this. They're all both on par for me here. But moving on to day 2, and before we can get into the action of the block matches, we have...
Wait, sorry. I think that my dog needs me real quick. I hear her barking in the other room.
I have compiled a list of tweets that people have tweeted about this that I have found culturally relevant. So I'm going to read them.
This is culturally inappropriate.
I'm going to read them now. Somebody said, this is Iho Del Simon, which I'm sure you know on Twitter as Oleg Boltman. It says, you really have to give it to Jake Lee. Not for anything in the ring, but because this is the closest I've ever seen to someone get to the line where you go, yeah, that's obviously blackface, but without obviously going over it. 90% sure this is a Cumtown bit. And then friend of the show, or friend of me and Jack, Cameron tweeted, "Heh, racist Jake Lee taking some ideas from Shingo's playbook, eh?" And then somebody tweeted, "Jake Lee moving like he was told that contract is coming up and not renewed. He's got to try something." Those are your tweets.
Okay. He don't have internet.
I fucking knew that you were gonna say that.
So the reason Jake Lee came out in this paint because he's like, this one's harder to wipe off, eh? That was his response to the Takeshita match. So we can really say,
Did he act?
he said that backstage
As
comment.
opposed to his normal.
Did he say that about
face
He
backstage?
did.
That was the gift. That was the bit. Okay, that's very smart, Jake. He's like, nobody's touching this with a 10-foot pole.
Oh my
Nobody will even want to be near me if I put this on. Oh fuck. No, it was okay, we'll be real for a second. I think I agree the most with Oleg Boltman on Twitter. Because I think that no, it probably actually okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Keep going, Jack.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it was actually blackface.
Perhaps.
But,
Some are saying.
I'm just not sure. And I'm not infallible, you know. I'm only a human being.
You can't do this, Logan.
What? Said that the general? That's what he looked like in the backstage.
What are you posting? What's
He
happening?
looked like in backstage comments.
Oh shit! Look at that, dude. There was so much good wrestling on this show.
Oh my god, dude.
The awful part. Okay, listen to me, because at first I was like, no, obviously that's just inverted colors Jake Lee makeup, but the more I look
It's
at it,
literally
the more
not.
like, no, dude, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, wait, he's a clown, and that is where my face comes from. Why is he just wearing minstrel makeup?
It's literally.
Oh my god.
It's not even his normal gimmick.
It's not
'Cause
really at all.
the eyes are
the
too
eyes aren't
wide.
normally that big.
They're too wide. He doesn't. I feel like he doesn't. I don't
Do
know.
the lips quite
Do
that
the
big?
lips
Maybe I don't know.
That yeah.
Either
There's
way,
so much.
here's
There's so
okay.
much.
Racial history on Strongest Style.
Jesus.
With the three whitest men alive.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I'm like, I don't think we can have a comment on "this is okay" coming from any of us. Is the thing. Like that's just it's not allowed.
This is so much more complicated than Bone Soldier Jr. could ever hope to be. There's so much that's gone into this.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god. No, yeah, obviously, now that I've thought about it, now that I've collected myself and I'm not just in the mood of having a laugh with my friends and of being pushed against the wall on air in case I ever run for, public office in the future. This is obviously offensive and he shouldn't have done it. Okay?
Yes. That's all I gotta say.
Correct.
That being said.
Without that, all right, leave it at that. You don't have to go further, Jack. It's like
Okay.
I think Jack wants to incriminate himself. Is like the best way. Like he just can't help himself. It's true. I don't think me and you would have this much love for a wrestler ever. There's something pure about it, and there's something evil.
Not at all, dude.
It's pure.
Not really.
I want so badly to support this fucking
I
guy,
will say
man.
he has done black and white makeup before, but not that exact pattern.
Oh, is that true?
Well, there is.
Are you like looking at it and,
no,
checking?
his Instagram has one. Not nowhere near that pattern.
Okay, yeah. He's going through it and making sure this is a unique concoction for the blackface paint. We can now confirm.
He's done black and white, like obviously with like the all white, and then he had like black lips and like kind of things, but like yeah, he definitely has not done.
Normally, it's more okay. So I'm also looking at it. Normally, he does more of a Joker smile with like it being super long and stringy. It's never just big, yeah, which is different. That looks differently.
Yeah.
That objectively speaking looks Are you looking at that too now?
Yes, I am.
Objectively, this is a different look.
He was doing Venom from Spider-Man.
Oh. All right, man. No, it was.
Yeah.
Listen, Jake Lee, his character is that of a clown. Blackface was a racist clown act.
Ooh.
But it is blackface. It's super blackface.
Oh my.
He should not do it again.
God. He's gonna do it tonight for the match.
And the more I'm I'm looking at it, like I'm looking it up. I'm looking up not okay. So I've looked up now blackface, and I'm looking through Google Images. To make
a really good thing to do. Yeah. Always.
Okay. It's super bad and racist, and he shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But it's really funny that Jake Lee did it.
Oh.
Can we all admit that?
It's like, okay. I understand what you're trying to say, but there's no way to say that and it sound good. I understand, like, the irony of, like, seeing that in 2026 on your TV screen is, like, crazy. And, like, how to...
I think the appeal of Jake is that he has become... And this was true even before he came up with this unbelievable new gimmick. Jake is a lolcow pro wrestler. Is he not? He's like, if fucking...
That's fair.
And that... anything he does, I think, might be funny to me. No, I don't want to see more blackface in New Japan Pro Wrestling or in pro wrestling or in the world. And we'll end it at that and move on to...
I do want to... No, we're not ending it.
Okay, say your piece, Cooper. I'm so exasperated. I genuinely don't know what to say.
It's understandable. It's a hell of a thing to look at. But I do think that it is important to recognize, once again, tying into our earlier conversation about the very, sort of Orientalist view of Japan and Japanese pro wrestling from American pro wrestling fans is kind of this, very wholesome, kind of harmonious, like everything that is right about whatever pro wrestling is in Japan. I and not just within Japanese sports culture, but Japanese culture generally. There's not a lot of black people in Japan. Yeah. It's a very homogenous, racial makeup of that country, and that results in incredibly reductive, harmful depictions of racial minority groups. And even within Japanese society, a lot of the indigenous people that live in the north of Japan. I know, like, the Ainu population is pretty discriminated against. Korean, people like Jake Lee have been discriminated against in broader Japanese society. And I just think that there is a fundamental lack of education regarding other people. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's currently any black talent signed to New Japan right now.
I think after Kevin Knight. Right? I think after Kevin Knight left, I don't think there's anybody. Right. Not in Japan, no. Not unless you'd have to count, like, Rosser running. Yeah,
Fred
strong.
Rosser was what came to mind, yeah. But, he's not going over there and he's not interacting with the Japanese talent. But, yeah, so, like, these sorts of things that are quite obvious to you and me and Logan and basically every other fan looking at it as something that is horribly racist and offensive, I think unfortunately gets swept under the rug. Like the fact that there wasn't anybody seemingly backstage to check him and say you are not fucking going out on television looking like this is a real genuine blind spot of the company and a mark against them. But like that's it's just gonna take more active steps to make sure that that everybody knows that shit is not okay. So
it's something that needs to be fixed.
Right. And same goes for Ishimori, doing his fucking little Nazi cosplay thing. Like, it's the same thing all around. You don't get a pass for this shit just because you come from a place where this is generally not questioned in my mind. I don't think that gives you an excuse. Fucking Google is free and it's available in Japan too. Like, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's it.
I agree. I agree. It's complicated, but at the end of the day, bad. Don't do it again. And people won't, it'll just be a kind of funny but bad incident to bring up in the future, just like the Ishimori thing was, unless it's like something that he's doing all the time, and then we might have to be like, hey.
Right. Yeah.
Hey. So yeah, hopefully this is the last we see of the blackface Jake Lee paint, and he goes back to being his normal self. And by normal, I mean the white paint. I don't want good-looking guys Jake Lee back in the ring.
You say that, but part of the other...
I say that out of great fear that it will not happen and that he'll keep doing it as an alternate look.
The part of the thing is they're going back to where he tore his knee, and it was a match against Goto, and he also kind of did that. I think he might be like even worse. I think it might be worse.
What do you mean worse? With like, never mind.
Well, let's just say he can definitely do worse. Don't act like he can't.
The lips are white, and
that's what I'm saying. And he's done red lips before.
I was going to say, what's worse, the lip being red too? Oh man.
I will say further.
Also, we have to make sure he never comes out with the monkey plush while he's wearing
Oh my fucking god! Yeah, no, it is a small miracle that he didn't this time around.
I will say I did look at his Instagram, and he has done like not the exact. This one was just so messy. Like it didn't look like it was put on well.
I know it looked like shit.
Yeah. He's done something close that's like as big as that, but like definitely not. That way.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think what it was is him putting on the white parts first and then putting on the black parts, and that's why it looked like terrible.
He was like, he did that. First he was just going to have the white outlines, and then he was like, it would be really funny.
We have 4 more G1 matches in all of AEW to talk about.
Okay, all right.
We're not talking about all of AEW. We're not like that right now.
All right, okay. Let's run through this quick, because this night wasn't that crazy except for the main event. So, Gabe Kidd fought Oscar in a match that I thought was far superior to his match with Drilla. He was the perfect heel for Oscar. And yeah, they had a really great sort of short, hard-hitting banger with, these big slaps, big Oscar overhand chops, great power moves. Oscar hit, clean as a whistle, that insane leg drop that he does, and it looks beautiful every time, and he's probably going to have to stop doing it within a year or else risk being 3 inches shorter. Gabe was on his, he, like I said before, he's peaking again. He was antagonizing the crowd, antagonizing the shit out of Oscar, he would beat him down, and then he would start doing stuff like doing the young lion, push-ups and being like, get up, pussy, he's like, remember the dojo, all that stuff, just messing with him, getting in his head. And Oscar, yeah, he was a great foil. He is so good at selling, so good at emoting, so good at just, I don't know, being this. He has this presence in the ring. He's such a good giant. There's something like to that, like being a great giant is more than just actually being a bigger guy. I know a guy like Oscar isn't as big as Andre was back in the day, or the Big Show was, but it's about how you carry yourself, kinda, that presence he has. And Hikuleo, when he was the giant in Japan, he struggled with that. He struggled with acting his size and wrestling his size. And Loibe just does not have that problem. He's so damn good at it. He's so, he's PX powerful, like a big lumbering giant who also can move. But when he moves, it's like, oh shit, this guy is, it's scary that somebody that big is coming at you, not that he just looks like any other guy running the ropes. Yeah, and that sleeper, that nightmare sleeper he's got as his finisher now, is a really fun, final, act for that character. It looks like he's got you in like a fucking anaconda, He's just, or a python, I mean. Like he's just squeezing the life out of you. Or no, like a boa constrictor. Jesus, I don't know snakes at all. Like a boa constrictor.
They kill the same way. It's fun.
Are they? Do they really? You know snakes?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, what happened at the end of this match is that Gabe was kind of just able to straight up beat him. I mean, not by he didn't cheat outwardly or anything. He kind of dragged him to the outside a few times and was able to get the upper hand there. But then he hit a pretty sick-looking drill-a-hole pile driver, which looks crazy because Oscar is this ginormous dude, and you're like, that is not gotta feel good being dropped on your head while weighing like 300 pounds or whatever and being 6'8". And then Oscar has one last big, you can't kill the monster spot where he gets drilled and then stands up with all this fury in his eyes. Gabe gets him in one more and takes him out for the victory. And Logan, you say your thoughts on this match before I talk about the really funny thing that happened after.
Are you talking about the backstage comments?
No, I was talking about what he did on the way back up the ramp. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'll let you
Did you skip the post-match?
No, I'll let you say that. I thought this match was really good. They made Oscar look like an absolute monster here. I love the way Gabe brings the intensity, and Oscar didn't really need to bring the intensity. He already been bringing it in his Knockout Brothers matches. I thought the arena match was fine and a good showcase for him, but I thought this was when he hit the drill a hole and he just got up, I was like, oh. I was also like, I don't want Gabe to lose though. So, but yeah, I thought it was really good. Gabe gets to win. The boys on the board, and he's gonna win the whole tournament. You say what you need to say about the post-match, and I will say what I need to say about the post-match comments.
All right. Well, after the match, Gabe Kidd gets out of the ring, and he looks at the camera, and he says, who I got next? Wolf. And then he looks at the big... they have this banner on the entranceway where they have like a stylized portrait of every contestant in the G1, and Aaron Wolf's is right at the bottom where the wrestlers walk out of. And then he motions the camera, he's like, hey, follow me. And he walks all the way up to the ramp, and then he starts humping viciously the picture of Aaron Wolf's face.
Absurd.
On the entranceway. And then he starts cackling to himself, and he leaves.
Well, he gets backstage and he's like, Oscar Louis Bay. That's what I get. Easy, light work. he's like, whatever, suck your mom or whatever he says. And he goes, who do I got next?
He did say that.
And Voof. He goes, no, you know who I got next? And he starts doing the Kurt Angle emo. He starts doing the jumping up and down backstage. And he says, Kurt Angle won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. And you want a gold medal with a fat belly, you fat bastard. I'm going to beat you tomorrow. Light work. GK the best.
Shit.
I'm out. And look, as a fellow fat man, I lost it. I could not believe.
My fucking god.
He's so funny. And he's not, Jack, he's so funny and he doesn't do blackface. Like, this has to be your boy now.
Oh man, he is my boy. They need to link back up those two.
Good looking bastards.
Yeah, I will absolutely seek out that backstage promo after because that sounds hilarious. I'm sorry, I totally forgot. It was so forgettable. I didn't mention that bad Drilla versus Hanare.
Well, we already kind of mentioned.
But we did kind of cover it. Yeah, it wasn't great. Hanare got the dub. Yeah, we can move on.
Yeah.
We really don't have to talk about that one when we do need at least an hour for AEW. We had up next heel versus heel battle with Rin Narita versus Callum Newman. This one wasn't so bad at all, honestly. I mean, it was. I didn't think so. Did you think so, Logan?
I enjoyed it. It was the Battle of the Bastards. I really enjoyed Dick Togo, as always.
But it was very funny. What added to it a lot was that they both came out with their seconds who were fighting in their own way. So I liked the Zane J and Dick Togo spots a lot. That was the most fun part of it.
I really liked the finish of the match, which was, they kept kind of like both trying to cheat a little bit. Finally, I think actually it wasn't even Narita who knocked out the ref. It was Callum.
It was
for them to hit him to get thrown into the ropes, powder in the eyes, kick into the dick, and then I think Narita hit his finisher. Callum kicks out. They completely throw Marty Asami out of the ring, and Narita keeps beating him up. Callum starts to get the.
Oh my god! I forgot about the finish. This was a good finish.
Yeah, Narita gets the upper hand. Togo gets in and locks in. He starts choking him out. And then I think, did Zane J hop back in at that point or not? I don't remember if that's exactly what.
What happened? So what happens is that, Zane J pulls out the referee there at the end.
Yeah.
And then Togo comes in and starts getting the choking. He tries to get the garrote wire on Newman, and they get Magic Killer on him.
That's what it was. It was Magic Killer they kicked out of. And then finally, Narita goes to the skies, knee drop on the arm, and then puts him in. I forget what he called it, but it was cattle mutilation.
It is cattle mutilation. No, he's calling it the cattle mutilation
and,
still.
Callum taps out like a little baby.
Yeah, because of the shoulder injury, the supposed shoulder injury. Now listen, I'm shitting on Narita weekly. I still don't think he's very good. Adding this to his repertoire is kind of sweet, and I hope that he keeps on doing it because I love the cattle mutilation. And it just popped me because they did unveil a new name for that. It's like a backwards Hell's Guillotine. Like he brought Newman all the way with his back facing to the turnbuckle and dropped the knee down on him, but from the back. And they call that, at least on the website, it says that is called the calf branding. So it's the calf branding into the cattle mutilation, which I think is kind of a funny 1-2 punch of names. Yeah, I mean, it was a cool little match. Narita did good limb work, which is like one of the few things he's all right at. And Narita and Newman are both 1-1, and they're both evil bastards. So
I really like
then we can
the way Narita looked after the match, where he just fell on the ground and went at the camera. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
He looks
yeah,
he looks
yeah.
so gross.
Newman did some good selling of a lot of the submissions that Narita hit him here, because earlier in the match too, he got caught in that guillotine, or no, he got caught. I think that was when he got caught with the garrote wire, and the garrote wire is normally kind of a silly, gimmicky thing that Dick Togo does, because obviously he is not fucking choking them with a garrote wire. But Narita was, or I mean Newman was like getting himself like drooling and spitting out and everything, and it looked nasty. And I was like, hey, all right, I guess he really is getting choked out. So yeah, he's willing to try and sell that kind of shit. Cool little thing for him. The main event, which was amazing, was Yuya Uemura versus Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, how could it not be amazing? But this was, yeah, a right proper, similar match to the one him and Roy had last year that everyone loved. It was just a total long grapple fest of a main event with just constant tension and intrigue over who was going to get one up over the other. You go on ahead, Logan.
This was awesome, bro.
Was
The whole
awesome,
story
wasn't
was, Yuya trying to tap out Zach was like his idea. So he kept working his arm the whole match while Zach kept, slipping in submissions and stuff like that. And I mean, there was parts where I'm like, oh, this is the finish. This is the, he had whatever the pinning predicament he did, deep. Yuya really got locked up in a lot of submissions, and the crowd is really behind him, and eventually finally gets the deadbolt locked in, and he uses the release German version of it, and hits 2 high fly flows, one and it's laying.
He does have a new name. He has his own he has its own name for the crossbody variant that he specifically likes to use as a finisher. He's calling it the Lion's Shine.
Yeah, that's the high fly flow,
so
brother.
That is not the high fly flow. I know, but it's.
I'm sorry, brother. You got that move from the
legend.
ace. You're not taking it.
All right.
That is the high fly. That's the standing high fly flow, and I will have the Lion Shine. Come up with a cooler name. Heat Storm.
Yeah, Lion Shine.
Look, this is someone who's like, this is my pick to win, and I was so pumped when he won this match, and I really like the story of like, Tanahashi said, you need to show some more edge and all this stuff. Did you see that Tanahashi said this week that in 100 years there'll never be any wrestler that'll ever be like him, based.
And that's goddamn true.
Yeah. But I thought him and Zach had a really, really great match. Really, if you love technical wrestling, it was just like a really fun chess match. And like, I knew Zach wasn't going to tap, but I thought the finish was really clever. And him just like needing to win anyway and finally getting that big win over Zach felt really big for Yuya. It's going to suck when this is the only thing he does in the tournament and he loses a bunch of matches and stuff. But, can't have good things. Anyway, it's time to go to America. Cooper.
God damn, yes, I'm catching the express flight back home to get to a little bit of the place where the best wrestle, All Elite Wrestling. We're not, I repeat, we are not going to go over Dynamite or Collision in their entireties. We were just going to hit little points that I thought were interesting, and that maybe progress a little bit of story, but do not expect a full play-by-play, because in case you didn't realize, for the past hour or so, we did exactly that for the G1, and I'm not doing that for another hour. But so let's start with Dynamite here a little bit. Pretty good edition of Dynamite, I thought, despite what some wrestling observers might say. I thought that it was formatted pretty well. It flowed smoothly and had two matches of the year on this edition of Dynamite. But the main points that I want to talk about here are the very interesting promo segment with Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay that got everybody a chance to get their dunks in on young William, and perhaps rightfully so. But I don't know. I saw this clip before I watched Dynamite really in its entirety, because I was watching the Warriors over at the local Boxcar Theater.
Hell yeah!
So I was busy watching perhaps one of the greatest movies of all time. Can you dig it? I figured that I would wait to get my Dynamite on, but I saw the clip that was going around of Will Ospreay telling Kenny Omega that their match at All In Wembley Stadium, which I will be at, would be, and I quote, as close as they can get to a real life Goku versus Vegeta. Now, Goku and Vegeta are characters from Dragon Ball Z, not to be confused with Dragon Ball. Goku is in Dragon Ball, but Vegeta got introduced in Dragon Ball Z. This is a Japanese cartoon that aired on international stations later in the 1990s and the 2000s. So Will Ospreay is a big fan of this Japanese cartoon, I assume, and is comparing himself and Kenneth Omega to these two characters from the cartoon. I don't really give a shit about Dragon Ball Z that much, but I get what he's going for. 'Cause I know, whatever. I know who Goku and Vegeta are. I know that he's trying to say that, you know, they're whatever generational rivals, which they're not really. You know, like their matches are pretty good when they've gone together, but like neither Will or Kenny are like the most important opponents of each other in their histories. But I get that he's trying to make it seem like that, so that this All-In match has a lot of hype and a lot of build up and a lot of whatever, you know, storytelling going on. People were dunking on Will for this because it makes him look like a little nerd, which he is. But my counterpoint to that is that every wrestler in the year of our Lord 2026 is a little nerd. None more so than the person that Will said that line to, one Kenneth Omega, who I guarantee you, if Will had not said that line, would have then said that line. So I don't really care about it.
You know what I have?
I think that.
You know what I have to say to this?
Go ahead.
This anime girl is straight out of a manga panel, brother. Yeah.
And you know what? That's goddamn right. He is. Yes, absolutely. I think people were being mean and dunking on that poor girl too. I don't think it matters. All wrestling is fucking dumb and fake and for virgins who, like, you know, so like, what are we doing here? You know, like, none of the people who are calling out Will for this have ever, you know, felt the touch of a woman. So that's, like, you know, I don't care. Like, it's fine. Yeah. And it's not like Kenny's promo back to him was much better. I mean, he didn't reference anime, but Kenny's never been like, whatever, the best talker in the world. He gets a little like fired up and stuff, which I do appreciate him trying to put a little bit of like fire into it now. But like, still, at Kenny's baseline, he's always been like pretty serviceable in the promo department, enough to where you forget how middling the promos are, you know, when the match hits, right? Because that's what people come to Kenny Omega for, is for the matches. And then there is the third element of this segment, which is the Jet, Kevin Knight, coming out and making his claim to Kenny for the AEW World Championship. You know, this has been his whole big thing since turning on Speedball, or really even before turning on Speedball. I think he wanted to be Jet 2 belts and to, you know, really get himself in that main event slot. He comes out to it, and now there's the added element of Kevin being sort of the new golden boy of the Don Callis family, and Kenny obviously having, you know, this sordid history with Don that he can call upon. And I like what Kenny says to him, that, you know, he sees something really special in Kevin, and that, you know, he knows that he doesn't need Don Callis, essentially. We say that the way that he is trying to achieve this greatness with Don is short-sighted, and he knows that, and Kenny can say that to him because he's done it. And I did really like that. And by the end of it, we do in fact get Kevin essentially getting what he asked for with that AEW World Title shot, which will be presumably the main event of Redemption. And I think that is a really interesting booking decision. It is admittedly maybe not one that I would have made, simply because I know that Kevin is going to lose that match. And I don't think that there is really anything that they can do on this go-home edition of Dynamite coming up this Wednesday to make me question that at all. So, like, to me, it does two things. It does position Kevin very well as a big time prospect that they have a lot of hopes for, but the sacrifice that they're making for that is essentially to feed him to Kenny as a filler defense for this bigger stadium show that they have coming up. And I don't really know how I feel about that, because, you know, it kind of undermines then the idea that you're supposed to kind of be prepping him to take over in the main event scene, you know, sometime soon. I feel kind of the same way that I did, you know, honestly, when Kyle Fletcher was in kind of this similar position with Hangman at All Out. You know, it's TNT champion, very much on the rise, mid-card that they had a lot of hope and a lot of potential for being thrust into the main event pay-per-view slot, only to get beat kind of back down into that mid-card space for who knows how long. Kyle hasn't really gotten back to that main event spot since, you know, which is sort of what the idea of that match was, I think, supposed to do. And I worry that we're probably going to see the same with Kevin Knight, and I think that would be a real missed opportunity there. And maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse by, you know, even worrying about all of that. But, you know, I do think that Kevin will show out, and this will be a very good match for him. But there are other people who need to be behind him in order to make sure that the fans don't just see him as a loser after this, which, like, is a real possibility. But yeah, so that is my kind of take on that whole segment and that whole run. Logan, what do you think about the Jet being thrust up into that Redemption main event?
It's interesting. It does definitely feel like the Hangman Fletcher thing again. I think it's nice. I think it should have been an Okada match. I think if you were going to do another one. But also...
Yeah, but why is the Okada match going to be at the filler B show?
Because I don't think we have that much time with Kenny, and we need to get one more up on Big Kazu, brother.
He'll be fine.
Bored.
He's got a year. He's got a year.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're just not going to get this match again. So it's like they're going to give it to us now. But there is a presentation thing of, like, we did this with Fletcher how long ago, and he still hasn't won. That was, what, a year? Closing on a year? You know? I think it was All Out. right?
It was All Out, yeah. So a little less.
Yeah, we're closing in. But we're getting close to one. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to think about the AEW World Title because obviously we know Ospreay's probably winning it all in, but after that, it's kind of in the air. People were saying this would make sense for Fletcher to take it off of Ospreay. Obviously the Jet feels like he could get it soon. Some people have floated the idea of Okada getting that title for a bit because it feels like he's always been presented as that and as like a main event caliber talent, and maybe they'll give him a short little time run, have him beat Will since he is his kryptonite. But like I don't see the Jet getting it anytime soon. So this just feels like here's your main event type thing. Like especially it's like there's no way he's winning this. So it's like why does this matter?
Right.
If you're gonna pop the home crowd, you should just give him a Kenny Speedball match.
Yeah, that could have been really fun. Absolutely. I'm sure that Kenny would have been down to do it. I do kind of not really like. Kenny was trying to sort of big up Kevin a little bit in his promo over here, but he clearly, I think, does not view Kevin as a threat to the title, which is what I think that segment really needed to make the audience then buy into it. It was the same issue that I had with the build to the Zack Sabre Jr. match over at Forbidden Door, which I knew was going to be a great match, and I was no doubt going to be seated for just to see it. But in the build in the weeks leading up to it, Kenny just spent the whole time just kind of putting down TMDK and putting down Zack and treating him like not really that big of a threat to him. And so that's a point that I think he maybe needs to work on, especially in the build to the Wembley match. If he spends that whole build, just saying, Will's not on my level, I don't really care much about, the aerial assassin Will Ospreay or the Death Rider Will Ospreay or whatever, then, it's not really going to, I think, have the same heat and fire that it should have. But anyways, moving on from that setting the stage for Redemption, and talking a little bit about the man who was in that similar position a little less than a year ago, Kyle Fletcher. The AEW International Championship was on the line on this edition of Dynamite. The champion, Kyle, was defending against the challenger, freshly back from his, I think, really, really good run in CMLL. Go back a couple of episodes of Strongest Style to see what I thought about Commander's little excursion down in Mexico for a little bit. But he's back now on American shores, and him and the Protostar did, in my estimation, have a match of the year. I thought it was so good, particularly the closing stretch on it, man. Goddamn, Commander just does some insane shit that I would never ever think to do, and Kyle is treating him just like a rag doll for so much of it, and that's incredibly fun to watch. I will say this, it was not a very, I don't know, psychologically profound match, but it was a real kind of like, big dumb spectacle kind of thing, and I like that shit too sometimes.
Yeah.
I like that shit a lot.
I did get to watch this match, and it was pretty sick. The Doyle Andrade match was also fun too. So
it was fun. I didn't. Similarly, I knew the result of that, and I wasn't as, I guess, like invested in it. I knew the result of this too, but I feel like Kyle did more work for Commander than Andrade did for Doyle.
That's fair.
So, but yeah, he does catch Commander coming off of that little rope run that he does, and fucking pummels him down with that big brain buster. Not on the turnbuckle this time. It was not the brain buster, but just a standard issue brain buster, which still looks really nice. And then our boy in his little break between Chicago and Japan, Konosuke Takeshita was still on call for Mr. Khan, and did run out to have a confrontation with the Protostar, making his intentions clear that he is not done with that big international championship. They also have a little bit here where it's kind of like everybody's running in, and so like you get Okada coming in, and he takes out Takeshita as well. They do a little struggle with the belt thing with him and Fletcher holding it, and then Bandito comes in, Brody King comes in. It's a whole big schmoz, but a fun time for Cooper here, because I like everybody involved here. So, but yeah, I'm gonna skip over a whole bunch of stuff, including the really really good Darby Brian Cage match. But it's what that match sounded like in your head when I said it. So go and watch it if that sounds up your alley. Speedball does come out and kind of try to have a little heart-to-heart with Kevin, which I thought was interesting, because they have been sort of separated since that one match that they had after the breakup, and I would like to see them maybe interact a little bit more. And Speedball has, I think, an interesting kind of the tack that he's taking with Kevin, where he's like, I'm rooting for you, but I'm still hoping that you can kind of break off from this Don Callis business. It's a very kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it's almost a little too vague for like pro wrestling television, but I don't know, it's fine. I like Speedball. And then the main event of the evening, and the other match of the year in my estimation, this 6-woman tag match with the Owen Hart women's tournament winner Mercedes Moné teaming up with the AEW women's tag champs Divine Dominion, taking on the super team of Hyon, Maya World, and Willow Nightingale. And dear God, the things that you can do when you give women ample amount of time. It
awesome.
is a phenomenal match, and built
so funny that you say that right as I'm reading like through my Reddit feed and see a post that says tonight's episode of Raw saw 0 women's matches and 0 in-ring women's promo segments take place.
Incredible.
I was like, great timing.
Oh man, that's wild. I didn't realize that the Federation had resorted to sexism in their increasing bid to become everything that we thought that they already were. So, but yeah, goddamn, go out of your way to watch this match. This might have been my match of the week from any promotion that I watched this week. I didn't watch a whole lot other than like a couple of CMLL shows, but oh my god, the build was phenomenal. Shout out also to Hyon, who has, in the wake of her tag team partner getting this massive rise up the card, I feel like people have kind of been wondering, or at least I've been wondering, okay, well, how are they going to integrate her into this stuff eventually? And if the answer is by being kind of this surprise element in the tag matches, then that's fine by me, because oh my god, she more than carried her part of this, and I think left a really good impression for the crowd, and I hope for the people in the back who are paying attention to it. So Willow was just fun. Like, this was the best Willow performance I've seen in months, probably since like I don't know, the Persephone match from the like towards the start of the year. It really feels like she knows kind of her trajectory at this point, and I think that is motivating her to have a more kind of spirited performance. And I think she feels good coming off of the little injury scare a while ago. Mercedes and Divine Dominion are such a fun pairing of heels. It's like, I don't know, it just makes so much sense when you see it, that it's kind of a surprise that they didn't do that sooner. I saw people saying like they should have like jumped the gun on signing Megan and Lena sooner, so that they could have had just skipped the whole Mercedes and Camille alliance from way back when, and just had these two as like her big heavies, for the whole time. But yeah, and it was just great. It was a fantastic Dynamite main event, and so Lena Cross does kick in Willow. Maya comes in and she gets double teamed off by Bane and Cross. And then in this final big kind of sequence, Hyon spears Mercedes, only gets 2, and then Mercedes backslides into the Monet Maker for the pinfall win. And really just a phenomenal. Like, I can't say enough good things about it. So
yeah, I thought I gotta catch this one. It was the one I was like, okay, I know I'm not gonna have a lot of time to watch AEW this week. There's certain matches I want to watch, and this was number 1. So I made out of my way. I watched this first, and I thought it was phenomenal. I agree, match of the year for me. I don't know if I would say match of the week. I'd probably go. I really like that Goto Suchi match. But I was pumped when I saw this main event, because I was like, when they had put this graphic up, I was like, yes, yeah. And sure. I mean, yeah, it was just awesome. I mean, you couldn't have asked anything for better. I hope we get some more Hyon Collision matches now, on the A show, as they say.
Same here, brother.
Speaking of the A show.
Speaking of which, yes, Collision Minute. And this will be not quite, but pretty damn close to a legit minute, because there's good stuff to talk about, but I am not trying to be here all night. The TNT Championship match with Kevin Knight going up against AR Fox was a ton of dumb fun. Fox, it feels like, is just like, I saw somebody say it feels like he has a deck of cards with like moves listed out on them that he like pulls from at random, and he's like, all right, we're doing this one in the match. He was putting Kevin through it, I will say, and that is maybe my gripe with it too, is because Kevin is being put in such a high position. Maybe you don't want to have this match be as competitive as it was, and that is maybe a quibble of mine. But within an isolated context, I thought this was really good. Then the other thing I want to talk about, Will Ospreay versus Adam Brooks, which, shout out Adam Brooks, a name that I have not heard in quite possibly a literal decade. I remember seeing him, get a little bit of buzz. I think he worked in like PWG and stuff, and seeing people talk about like, oh, he's a great Australian wrestler that's gonna like take over the world, and then he just didn't. But he's clearly trying to get a job right now. And him and Ospreay had a really good match that showed off how familiar they were with each other. Adam attacks Ospreay from out the gate and spends the whole match essentially trying to evade all of Ospreay's usual big spots, which kind of forces Ospreay to resort into those more vicious Death Rider style tactics, including the finish of this match, which was those big, up from the top elbow strikes as Brooks is downed and facing on the ground. So elbow striking the back of his head that we had seen Ospreay working on in the Death Rider video packages up until then. And I think that should be his Death Rider finish. Ditch the Death Ground armbar shit that looks like shit and he can't do it well. Do this instead because it's more vicious and it's a strike, which he is really good at doing, and it gets the point across in a way that doesn't strain my credulity in quite the same way as forcing Will Ospreay to suddenly become a submission-based technical wrestler, So, then the other thing that I want to talk about from this one is, I do have to say, before the Ospreay Brooks match, the Dogs had, I thought, a really funny promo package that was way better than any of the Bang Bang Gang, spay and neuter things that they had been running, where it's Finlay and Connors basically doing, I guess, right to censor, I guess, but for the Bang Bang Gang, and saying that they promote that the Guns are misogynist. Juice Robinson is a mentally unwell individual who should not be allowed to wrestle, and that Ace Austin's haircut was bad. And they said,
"Damn, they're so base still."
Yeah, that's honestly
no Dogs.
Finlay said that in regards to Jay White calling him a little nepo baby bitch, that he's sorry that Jay White's father was a nobody who never did anything in his life. And I thought it was a really funny delivery from Finlay. And they ended it off by saying, for the good of AEW, we hope that you can join us in saying guns down. So I thought that was fun. And then the main event of this edition of Collision, I thought, surprisingly good match from the defending TBS champion Hikaru Shida, putting her belt on the line against Queen Aminata. Maybe I shouldn't be so surprised about that because Queen Aminata is in this match, but I have been very vocally not a fan of what Shida has been doing lately. I think her storylines have been shit, and I think that her work has slowed down to a degree that has lessened my enjoyment of it, where I used to think she was a really great wrestler, but it seems like the time away had kind of built up on her. But man, this one I really dug, and I thought that Shida used her new heel persona more effectively in this one, because it working with Aminata, I think, draws out the need to hit a little harder and a little snappier than, say, somebody like, I don't know, Julia Hart, right? So not a match of the year by any means, but definitely a better sign. And the best Shida match, it's the best Shida match I've seen in quite a while, and a better sign of hopefully where this TBS title reign is going to be going than how she won it. She does still keep trying to do that shit submission move, and she should drop that. But other than that, I thought a very good performance from Hikaru Shida.
Yeah, I thought this was really good. Aminata, I mean, dear God.
Aminata's phenomenal, and yeah, she should have won this belt.
The gear too,
in the Survival of the Fittest. Yeah, new gear, which I think looks absolutely great, and I think the attitude that she's showing in these spots that she's getting since she's come back from injury too, hopefully it will amount to some kind of reward for her. For her good effort.
I'm crossing my fingers, and I know it's not going to happen, but We got this Maya World, which we're gonna get into predictions. Maya World versus Sheeta at Redemption, and I don't think me and you. I like Sheeta. I'm not as down on her as you are, but I also think you need to reward striking the iron hot. Give this to Maya World, and I think they should do this and give into a lengthy feud between her and Naminata. And her contract's coming up too. It's like, I don't know how they haven't done anything with her. I mean, if you want to talk about a wrestler that like is great in the ring, is pretty good on the great in the ring, pretty good on the.
Well, she got
hurt. But I'm talking about like even before she got hurt, she was hot. I mean, this is basically the reason Tekla got over was because of her feud with Naminata. That propelled her, and so the fact that she hasn't been rewarded, especially like in circumstances of like Sheeta doesn't need a run with the TBS. Like, no offense to Sheeta, but like you could have given it to Naminata, you could have given it to Persephone if you wanted to establish something. Who else was in that match? That was the bigger name. But anyway, it's just like in her presentation, like there's nobody who looks like her on TV. Like, you want to talk about looking like $1,000,000? Like, you see her and she's visually like striking, and all that gear she creates is her own making. Like, I don't know how you haven't given her at least like a Ring of Honor belt now. Because she was what? She went for that TV title and was in the finals, didn't even win that. I don't think she's even won a Ring of Honor belt, which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, she's too good for Ring of Honor now. I mean, obviously, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think that there's they don't capitalize on that sometime soon necessarily. I think that they were waiting to see her work post injury to kind of gauge how how, if at all, it would affect her before deciding to really strap a rocket on, which is maybe smart, but you do run the risk of just delaying further so somebody's opportunity to get a prominent position when they're at their hottest. So but yeah, I mean, more performances like this, and I don't think that it's I think it's basically a guarantee that Aminata gets belted up at some point in her AEW career. So
for sure. Well, do you want to go into predictions?
Let us. Yes, I've already made my little document to reference. Right. So let's
do it.
These are the matches.
Let's redeem ourselves.
These are the matches that are announced on Wikipedia at the current moment on Monday, July 20th. So if there's any other matches announced after this, we will not be predicting them. Up first, this is just the order. I'm going from 1 to 8. Tekla versus Willow Nightingale for the AEW Women's World Titles. Jack, who do you have and why?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Tekla versus Willow.
Sorry, locking the fuck in. I think Tekla is about to drop the title and do some funky, maybe shenanigans with Natsboy and the IWGP Women's Championship. So I think she's going to lose to Willow. And this is not Willow's first time with the world title. If she wins, is it? It is. It would be. Okay, yeah. Then, yeah, I think why not have your best babyface go over, who I have heard is one of the very best heels they've had in the women's division in a long time. I think it is about that time for Willow.
Okay, Cooper?
It really is. It is a shame that they're doing this now, because I don't think that they will run this back for Wembley if God forbid Willow loses. I think that Willow and Mercedes is incredibly money match for the belt in Wembley, and I would love to see friend of the show Willow Nightingale with that women's world championship around her waist.
Yeah, I'm going Willow. Tekla's going to take some time in Stardom because she's so hot right now over there, and I think they want that Willow Mercedes match for All In, even if she only holds it for like a month. Next up, Dunkzilla Mark Davis versus Andrade El Idolo for the AEW national title. Jack, who do you have and why?
I think that I have not been paying that close attention to this little Mark Davis push storyline that they've got going, but I think knowing that Andrade has split off from the family and that he is still much higher on the card than Dunkzilla is, or is more of a star than Dunkzilla is probably gonna get this little title to have some fun with it for a while. Especially since he loves to be is enjoying like traveling around the world in this run anyways. It feels like a good fit. So I'm going with Andrade.
Cooper? Go with your heart.
And potentially lose points? What are you talking about? No, I'm a pragmatist, and I do have to kill my darlings, I'm afraid. How do I know?
Well, as good as Mark Davis looks shirtless with a camo hat on Dynamite, and he's my baby boy, I am trying to secure this belt at least for the whole G1 so I can use the stipulation, or it's all for nothing. So that reason I'm going to go with Mr. How You Know, Andrade El Idolo.
How you know? How you know?
How you know?
See, he's coming around to it.
How do you know? How do you know, good sir?
We've fully got Cooper off his rocker. All right, Kenny Omega, Kevin Knight for the AEW World Championship.
How do you know?
Let's all say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega.
Big Kenny.
Wait. Yeah, Kenny. Cool spot though for Kevin. I know I didn't speak up when y'all were talking about it, but I think it's cool.
In a no holds barred match, the Painmaker Chris Jericho versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Holy fuck! Are you serious?
Speaking of problematic face paint, dear God.
I'll go.
Are you kidding? Are you just using that nickname?
No, that's what they have labeled him as.
He's doing the gimmick, bro. Yeah.
I have not heard or seen that.
That's his hardcore gimmick.
Oh God, that's so funny. That's so funny. I have not heard about him bringing that back, man. It's 2026.
We all know how babyface Jericho feuds go. He loses the first one, and then he wins the next one, and it's in Montreal, and he's the Painmaker. So sadly,
that's so
he's
awesome.
going over. Give me the Painmaker.
Yeah, I have to imagine that if he's bringing out his big alternate, personality for the for the match, then it must mean that Chris Jericho is about to go into sicko mode on Tommaso Ciampa and win the match with like a exploding barbed wire bat to the face or something.
Painmaker versus the
Can I be
the
brave?
Silent Jester.
I'm gonna be brave here.
You should.
And I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen. Is that we are going to get at least another month-long run of this Jericho Ciampa match, perhaps longer. This might go past Monday. I want you to understand that. But what I think is going to happen is that Ciampa will beat the Painmaker, and Jericho will then have to bring out the Lionheart.
Oh my God!
And then he'll have to bring out, I don't know, the Ayatollah of Rock and Roll, or then he'll have to
Jericho.
the list or Jericho. Yeah, he'll team up with Tall Paul.
You didn't mention Tall Paul in commentary.
I didn't. Yeah, big Tall Paul.
Kyle Fletcher versus Bandito for the AEW international title as much as I love Big Dito to win it. I have seen a pattern, and I don't think they're breaking it. Give me Kyle Fletcher. Jack? He's like, who's in this match? I wasn't paying attention.
No. I was listening to this. I was listening here. But I do think probably
Kyle Fletcher from former IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion.
He beat the Revival for at Royal Quest too. No, I think Fletch is taking it here probably.
As much as I do hate to go against Bandito in any form or fashion, I fear that the Fleshlights will rise up on this particular night in Canada.
Cage and Cope, or Cope and Cage, versus the Death Riders team of Claudio, Castagnoli, and Pac. Give me the champs.
Yeah, I don't know. I might. I don't know anything. Like, can y'all? You're not gonna like help me out and let me know if it seems like there's a big in game for the Cope and Cage
yeah,
thing?
there is, and
there is definitely. What is it?
We'll reveal soon to you.
I'm gonna pick the Death Riders anyway.
Oh shit!
Why not?
Let's go.
I just want to. I don't really like. I really like Cope and Cage being tag team champions. That
Cooper?
stinks.
Well, Jack, I also don't like Cage and Cope being tag team champions, but I do unfortunately care about my points a little bit too much.
Who are they going to
Okay.
drop to? It's not the Young Bucks. Why are they facing?
All right, Jack.
Why are
the
they?
next match?
Is it not the
next
Young
match?
Bucks?
The Death Riders team of John Moxley and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. Who do you have and
I
why?
know about this. So what? You think that the Young Bucks are going to win this match and then challenge him at all? Oh, okay, I see. But I would have. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
he's like, oh wait, it makes perfect sense. That's exactly what they're gonna do because they have Tony is rot in the tag division.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But then I was like thinking like it would be cool if the Young Bucks and Omega were like champions at the same time, which won't happen if they win the titles all in. But I guess that doesn't matter that much. Yeah, no, the Young Bucks are going to win there because of some weird dissension thing or can they coexist sort of thing. And obviously, they're taking it there.
Cooper?
Oh, wait, so Jack thinks that the Young Bucks are going to win this match?
I think the Young Bucks are going to win. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. Will Ospreay is a part of the other team, and I think he's going to fucking make mincemeat out of the Jacksons.
Give me Das Bucks. Das Young Bucks. All right, finally, the main event. Hikaru Shida versus Maya World for the TBS title.
Let's go!
Yeah?
That's
Cooper,
right.
who do you have and why?
Fucking dog, put the belt on Maya.
Jack, Shida, or Maya?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's gotta be fucking Maya World, bro.
Whose world is it? It's got to be Maya's, man. Sweep.
Let's go! That's right.
Cooper, was there
Let's go.
any?
Let's
I
do
think
it.
the only one me and you picked different was the Painmaker match, which honestly
It
isn't
was.
out of the realm.
Well, no, because you picked Young Bucks too. So yeah.
That's awesome. Maybe I'll
I
take
picked
it. Maybe I'll
literally
take
like
it with the Death
the
Riders.
most predictable in almost every aspect. I just went for like this. I'm like, this is the B show. They're not trying anything interesting. The only one I think that might flip is the two that I could see Cooper getting both those points because bollocks.
Yeah, you could.
Nope, it's not gonna happen, bro. The Bucks have to get that Wembley match. We got so dissension, and the Painmaker's got to.
The Bucks will still get the Wembley match. What are you talking about?
Hometown win for the Painmaker, brother. Imagine what if the Painmaker came out, but he did the inverse of the Painmaker paint. What would happen then? What would happen then?
Oh my god.
Painmaker Chris Jericho versus blackface Jake Lee is like the worst.
Him and Jake should compare notes.
That they should have done.
Chris Jericho would see the Jake Lee post an apology about the blackface thing and comment, "Forgiven."
Oh baby.
Good luck, Jihad.
I wish Chris Jericho still went over to New Japan so he could feud with Jake Lee. That'd be awesome. The Painmaker. All right. With that being said, it's time to hit that outro. Thank you for listening to Strongest Style, a pro wrestling podcast. That has been it for us this week, but we'll be back next week. Another few hours of rousing wrestling content. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us at Strongest Style. Me and Cooper are pretty active there. You can follow me at Logan Hurst, and you can follow Jack at Average Darth, but Cooper doesn't have his own social media. So Cooper, any last words?
You know, we thought that Jake Lee was an avant-garde wrestler, but it turns out actually he's just a big fan of turn of the century early sound motion picture.
His favorite movie is Birth of a Nation. Well,
I was going with the jazz singer, but so I was maybe going a little less intense.
That's fair.
Than that.
Yeah, if you can find us on all your podcast players of choice, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please like, share, comment, tell us what you love, tell us what you hate. We appreciate all of you for listening, but we appreciate our fans in India the most. We will see you guys later. Goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang!